The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
I turned 29 recently. I had the worst birthday ever. I got into a car accident on my 29th birthday. It sucked. I was in South Carolina. What really sucked about it is I was in a car with three strange women, and I think I had a good shot at the one that was in the back seat with me, but once the car accident happened, that kind of threw everything off. It's kind of hard to jump back in the game after you were in the ER for 10 hours. You can't pop out with stitches. So where were we?
Oh, hey, Nick, how you doing? Al here. Listen, I know you're super busy. You got a lot going on. I really hate to bother you, but, well, there's something I've been meaning to tell you, and I'm afraid it just can't wait any longer. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nick. Happy birthday to you. Hey, it's your birthday. Gotta be your birthday. You know what I was told? You're 50-something years old.
It's your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
It's Nick's birthday.
Hey!
It's your birthday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Tears in my eyes, Cubby.
How about that, huh?
Tears in my eyes.
Not a bad way to start your birthday weekend, and I'll be celebrating it all weekend, of course.
I'd forgotten all about it until Weird Al started singing.
Did you really?
Yeah. It's my birthday on Sunday. I appreciate that very much. Welcome to the show, everybody, the Half-Ass Morning Show. Now, how does that work again? You've explained this to me before, how Weird Al is able to pump out all these birthday songs to people.
It's awesome. I can't figure out how exactly they do it, other than it must have took a really long time to record this over and over, unless there's some magic of audio production I'm not aware of. But you just go to this website, and I forget what it is. Maybe we can look it up. Guess what? You just type in your name, you type in the age you're going to be, and it spits it out instantaneously.
That's so cool.
Spell, like in the video, it'll spell out your name, I think in balloons, and it's awesome. And I entered a ton of names. I didn't find one that wasn't in there.
Did you enter any weird ones?
I entered just some names that weren't American sounding.
Okay.
And they had them.
Yeah.
AmericanGreetings.com.
That's what it is?
American Greetings.
And you look for, are there any other artists up there that do that?
Looks like Donny Osmond does it.
Really?
There's a Dolly Parton one where you can customize the lyric, personalize the lyrics. Same with Michael Bolton.
Cool.
These are the biggest stars in the world today. Dolly Parton and Michael Bolton, Weird Al and Donny Osmond. Well, I appreciate that quite a bit. And now I'm getting text messages from our listeners wishing me a happy birthday. Terrific.
They're good people.
Thank you. Yeah, I had completely lost track. I mean, I knew it was coming up.
Do you have any big plans then? Probably not.
No.
No, okay.
No. I like I said, I had completely forgotten about it. I mean, I'm going to go out drinking a little bit tomorrow night in Excelsior. It's the big town party in Excelsior tomorrow. They call it Rich White Family Day. What the hell do they call it?
Okay.
I think that's it.
God dang it. Apple Days? Apple Days, I think. Someone can look it up, or someone from Excelsior can text me.
Crazy Days?
No, that's Wyzetta.
Excelsior Apple Day?
Apple Days. I was right. Okay.
I'm sorry. We got to break into programming real quick with some news. Mr. Big, one of me and Nick's favorite bands of all time, is going to play the Fitzgerald on February 21st.
That's just been announced?
Happy birthday.
Oh, geez. Are you guys going to be okay?
No.
I've never seen them. I want to go to Japan and see them, or I thought I'd have to go to Japan, and they're coming. Thank you to the Brotherhood for texting that in. I had no idea.
I didn't know it was my birthday. I didn't know Mr. Big was coming to town. Well, that's terrific. The Fitzgerald. Somebody give me some info there. I don't know that I've ever been there.
In St. Paul.
St. Paul.
Oh, that place is cool.
Fitzgerald.
I have never been there.
I think I've heard the name before.
One of my favorite restaurants is near
Wow.
there.
What night? February what?
Oh, it's on a Friday, Nick.
Oh, wow.
OMFNG.
Yeah.
What was the date again?
February 21st.
Well, that sounds...
It's called the Big Finish Tour, and they're playing Lean Into It, the album entirety.
In its entirety. Yeah, I had picked up on that. What's the word? Perusing the internet, watching some videos, looking this and that up. I saw, Josh, maybe you were the first one to tell me that on this latest tour, or maybe from the title, The Big Finish, maybe it's their final tour, they're playing the album Lean Into It in its entirety. That's a beautiful thing, because that is an absolutely terrific record.
You know,
I lied straight to your face real quick, by the way. Tickets go on sale on Friday, which is today. They go on sale at 12. But the show is on a Wednesday, it looks like.
February 21st.
Well, sounds like
That's fine,
we've
that's
got
far away.
We've got the 22nd and 23rd off.
Yeah, we're not going to be working the rest of that week.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can guarantee
That's
you that.
a holiday. And
Yeah.
you know what? Our boss, once Pearl Jam announced they're coming to town, right? He played Pearl Jam for all day. If he doesn't do this with Mr. Big, I'm going to tie him up and I'm going to throw him in the Mississippi.
Well, he should. He should give us, or do us that favor. Let's make February 21st, 2024, it's going to be by then.
Wow.
Let's make that nothing but Mr. Big all day long leading up to the concert. I bet if we inform the band that that's what we're going to do, they'll probably come in and talk to us live in person.
Oh, what if they did an acoustic set in here?
I would wet myself.
Have you guys ever had a chance to talk to them?
No.
No?
No.
No, not at all. I mean, I watch Paul Gilbert. He's one of my all-time favorite guitar players. And I watch all his stuff on YouTube. I thought about, he's got an online course, and I thought I'm not worthy. But I have thought about taking his online course to learn, guitar.
That's great news. Thank you. Whoever has been passing that information our way via text, thank you to the brother and sisterhood for giving us a heads up. I never would have found that out. I would have been the last guy to find that out. Just because I don't pay attention to concert announcements and things like that anymore. That's great.
That's for people who work in radio.
Yeah, right. Wow.
I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I'm pumped, man. I had no idea.
You've never seen them before?
No.
I saw them for
I've
the
watched
first
all
time.
their live. You lent me their 1991 show in California, and they did the cover of Baba O'Reilly.
Right.
Which was awesome.
I've seen them in concert twice. Once they had their own headline show at the Mirage on the Lean Into It tour. And also when they were promoting Lean Into It, they opened up for Winger at First Avenue. You know the Mr. Big Winger story.
What a show that would be.
It was a terrific show, and Paul Gilbert even came out into the crowd and socialized with us after Mr. Big's set before Winger went on stage. On that particular evening, Josh, Paul Gilbert wandered out into the crowd, got a drink in his hand, and we said,
"That's crazy.
Hey, Paul, can we, say hello real quick?" And he asked us a few questions about Minneapolis and moved on with his night.
I'm such a big fan. I have a good mind to cut off his hands and keep them. Is that weird?
I wouldn't
No,
be
that's
surprised.
normal.
If you don't know the story, summer of '92, something along those lines, me and my pals were all lined up outside of First Avenue. Big crowd of people lined up, waiting to be let in to the Mr. Big opening for Winger show. And some dude walks up to us, older dude, and he says, "What the hell are you guys doing in line?" And we said, "Well, we're waiting to see a show." And he said, "Oh, who's playing?" And one of us said, Mr. Big and Winger. And the guy said, "Mr. Big Wiener? What the hell's wrong with y'all in line to see Mr. Big Wiener?"
Eastbound at sundown, Jesus said, "Ooh, Mr. Big. Will they play their one good song to be with you?" Now, I don't think he's trolling us. I think he's referencing something we've complained about before, where people say they suck, that To Be With You, they're a chick band, or whatever you want to say about it. But those guys, they're incredible. It's a clinic. It's not a show. It's not an album. It's a clinic. That's what they put on.
A friend of mine even saw him open up for Rush in the summer of '89 on the Presto tour. That was a Rush album that Rush made an album called Presto, and Mr. Big was the supporting act for the Presto tour. Remember that audio I played you at my house, Josh, where the announcer says, "Please welcome Mr. Big," and Paul Gilbert goes into the intro of "Blame It on My Youth" and Eric Martin with that unbelievable scream.
Yep.
And just the low end on their bass, it knocked your D in the dirt.
Yeah.
My buddy saw that live.
Oh, he was there?
He was there.
That's awesome.
You can probably find that. I know you can find that. If you look up Mr. Big live on Spotify, was it it's the Raw Like Sushi? Anyway, somebody look that up.
Quite a few people are texting in saying the Fitzgerald is a really cool place
It is.
to see a show. I've seen pictures of performances in there.
You
It
know
does
what?
look nice.
I think I saw Alice Cooper there a few years ago.
Oh, nice.
Now I think, okay, I knew it rang a bell. I'm fairly sure I saw Alice Cooper, 7 or 8 years ago at the Fitzgerald.
Does he put on a good show?
Oh, a great show. Absolutely.
A lot of theatrics?
Yeah, not as over the top as maybe when he was a young guy, but I never gave a rat's ass about Alice Cooper up until I saw him for the first time, 15 years ago, and then I tried to go and see him as often as I've kind of given up on live shows lately, personally.
Yeah, I have too. Obviously,
Mr.
this is an
Big
exception.
changes everything. Megadeth is a band that changes that plan for me. They're playing in a couple weeks. Where was I going with this? Alice Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to see him, every couple of years. He has such a terrific band, and he's such a terrific... Well, this is the best... Who said this is the best birthday ever for me? I think this is. To know that one of my favorite bands is coming to town for the first time in so long. That is Lord, please just allow me to live beyond February 21st, 2024.
That's all we need. Yeah, I have the same request.
That's all I ask for.
Actually, I have one more request. Nick and I would like to go over people who have purchased tickets to the show and see if they're worthy. And then have the right to revoke. I mean, a full refund, of course.
There's a betting process. Then at the end, it's just the two of you in the venue. Nobody else was worthy.
I think there'll be a couple other people there. Yeah. I'm sorry, you don't make the cut.
No, Mr. Big, for you.
Yeah, there better not be anybody showing up and, giving any attitude. I'll personally throw them out the Fitzgerald Theater. Oh, wow.
Yes, 6 hours. Tickets go on sale.
Well, that's exciting. I actually did have that attitude once when I was in high school. Josh joking around about we want to make sure everyone's worthy to go to the concert. When I was in high school, AC/DC came to town. Their Blow Up Your Video tour, so that was the summer of '88. Sounds right to me, summer of '88. Blow Up Your Video with the Heat Seeker and That's the Way I Like to... And some, cute gaggle of gals that I was hanging out with. So I was probably a 10th grader. And some cute gaggle of gals walked up and said, "Guess what?" And I said, "What's going on?" And they said, "We've got tickets to go see AC/DC." And I said, "You friggin' gals, you don't even understand AC/DC." I went down that route. I said, I gave them some kind of pissy attitude about how, you don't just walk into an AC/DC concert like it's nothing. You better be ready for this. So I was guilt tripping them for only knowing Shook Me All Night Long. You see where I'm going with this? I told them, I better not see you at the show. You better be paying attention. I had that approach to the whole thing. But I was a young kid.
All right, Nick, I'm going to read you a text here that says, "When is Racer X coming to town, though?" This person's allowed at the show.
Yes, they are.
They know Racer X. You can get in.
Oh, that's absolutely great. All right. Now we don't have much time to talk about anything else. But that's okay.
That's exciting. Breaking news.
That's great. Absolutely great. Changed my whole outlook on life. What do we have going on this morning? Dad fights 100 plus 43, I suppose.
Yes, sir.
No Depot today.
No Depot today.
Anthony DePaula.
Andrew DePaula. You said Anthony.
I did. I don't know why I said Anthony.
Normally, I'm the one who screws up his name.
That's true.
Andrew DePaula, long snapper for the Vikings. From what I understand, he didn't get off an airplane until about an hour or two ago.
Yeah.
Coming home from Philadelphia. So we told him, dude, if you want to just go home and go to bed, you don't got to come on the friggin' show. So he said he did the right thing and said, yeah, I'll stay home.
And he's such a nice guy originally, we just kind of assumed we wouldn't catch up with him this week, but he offered to still come on the show, and we gave him the choice, like, dude, just go to sleep, man.
Well, because anybody with kids, young kids too, like he's got nose, they're going to let you sleep in, I'm sure.
Man. So that's okay. Andrew's going to take a week off. He's beat. But Dad Fights, our weekly trivia gangbang, where our pals Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder try and outwit each other. Tune in around 8 a.m. for that.
You know, in this one, we've got a lot of fun audio to play, too.
That's I like having that. That's a nice little side. And, if you're not really down or drawn to the trivia aspect of the whole Dad Fights gimmick, one or two of the boys, either Randy or Brad, usually get really pissy at one point or another, so there's always that element to the game to look forward to.
Yeah, because, between Friday and the following week, they're having a terrible weekend. Whoever lost, it affects they're that competitive.
Isn't it crazy that, so we've done about 142 of these, that every single time the loser claims they got screwed over? It's nuts. How it just happens that way every single time.
There's a few, you'll experience that. Brad will go on and on about why he answered a question a certain way, whether he gets it right or wrong.
Yep.
That's always fun.
I'm amazed that we're at 143 right now. I remember when we first started Dad Fights, it was like Dad Fights 1 or 2. Nick was like, wouldn't that be really cool if it was like the UFC where we could get into like hundreds? And we're almost up to 200. It's so cool.
That's a hell of a deal. It's a hell of a run. So that'll be, like I said, 8 a.m. Here's a text message from Hot Coco Sheezes. She has a question. I was telling the story about the cute little high school girls that approached me. Thankfully, I was also in high school at the time.
Yeah.
To not violate my prohibition. When I was in high school, these little gals ran up to me and said, "We're going to the AC/DC show," and I guilt-tripped them. I said, you don't even deserve to go see AC/DC. You don't even understand how massive that band and their history, right? Hot Coco Sheezes asks me, I was a dick about it. Hot Coco Sheezes, did those girls become bigger fans of AC/DC after seeing them like you did of Alice Cooper? Absolutely not. No, all they did was complain about how ugly everyone was at the concert.
Oh, no.
These were Wayzata girls. You got to understand. This was late 80s Wayzata girls. No, they didn't become AC/DC fans. They just kind of went there for the people watching.
They probably thought it was too loud.
Yeah, maybe, probably. Back then, you could crank it up a little bit.
Wait, did they go to see You Shook Me All Night Long? Was that what brought them out there?
Yeah, like I said, that was the one song that they knew.
Oh, you did say that?
Yeah. No, I wish I could say they became big AC/DC fans, but no. Well, thanks, everyone, for the birthday wishes here. Appreciate it.
Have you ever seen this shirt? This shirt cracked me up. It's like, oh, you like music, do you? Well, then name every song ever. For people who would challenge you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Same if you're wearing a hat that might support a certain team. Oh, you're a fan of that team. Well, in 1997, who was the backup quarterback?
That stresses me out so much because, I think there's only one band that I know, all their songs to and stuff. And that's just because I suck at that stuff.
Well, who is the band to where you know every song?
And it's definitely not every single one, but A Day to Remember. And that's just because I've listened to that band since I was, very, very young. Probably, 11 or 12.
Yeah,
so.
I hear you. I hate that I became that character for a brief moment when I was a 10th grader where I...
Oh, I was too,
I had
sure.
to make sure somebody was worthy of seeing a band. I have a buddy who still operates like that.
Or in his 50s even?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, he would gun me then. I have a lot of like random band tees. I have like a Pearl Jam shirt and stuff like that. Like if he asked me like, "What's your favorite song?" I'd be like, I don't know, but play a few and I can sing along with him.
I don't know, dude. It was $5 at Target.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's on the 70% off rack.
Yeah, I have a buddy who still has that snobby attitude when someone brings up a band. You know, he wants to make sure that they know what they're talking about before he gives them the respect, you know, of listening to them talk about this band. Well, you know, how long you been? If you see him in concert, how long you been a fan? You got all their albums. He does that stuff all the. Yeah, I don't know. A couple years ago, Ronnie Millsap came to Medina Ballroom. And we're at the bar, and someone said, "Hey, Ronnie," an old country singer. I don't even know if he's still alive. Ronnie Millsap. He's still alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay.
He's got to be in his 80s.
Oh, yeah, he's no kid. But anyway, I remember, you know, a couple of Ronnie Millsap songs from when I was a kid, because my dad listened to that kind of stuff. So we're sitting at the bar, and someone says, "Hey, you know, Ronnie Millsap's coming to town." And I said, "You know, I'd actually like to see that." And this snobby buddy of mine goes, "What do you know, like 2 songs?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I need to be a walking Ronnie Millsap encyclopedia in order to enter the venue and see the man live?"
Seriously.
F off. What was that one song that I love so much? Oh, I wouldn't have missed this for the world. Wouldn't have missed loving you, girl. Remember that one, Josh?
That's a good song.
You don't know that one. You don't know
I was
Ronnie
playing along.
Millsap.
I didn't want to ruin your birthday.
You act like you're a Ronnie Millsap
Actually,
fan.
Yeah. Why do you act like you're the biggest Ronnie Millsap fan?
That's a great song.
I've heard that song.
That was a huge hit, huge crossover hit. And I know someone right now is saying, did they start off the show talking about Weird Al and then move on to Mr. Big and then move on to Alice Cooper and then move on to A Day to Remember and then AC/DC and Megadeth, and now they're talking about Ronnie Millsap? And I know what you're asking yourself. Is this the greatest morning show? Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's proof right there. We can start with Mr. Big and close out with Ronnie Millsap.
And the answer is Randall Cunningham. I said, "Oh, you're a fan. Who's the backup quarter in 1997?" Overly optimistic Vikings fan Jesus said that was Randall Cunningham.
That's great.
He's always good.
All right, let's kick it in the ass. We got plenty to do today, so we want to stay on time. We'll take a break. Come right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, consider that CPAPs were invented in 1980. Do you even remember 1980? Everyone's house had one telephone. There were like 4 TV channels. Now, for people who struggle with CPAP, there's Inspire. Inspire treats sleep apnea inside your body at the click of a remote. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, we're headed in the right direction. Hey, Josh, we were talking about a certain type of person that pisses everybody off, people who attempt to make you earn your fandom of a band.
That's frustrating.
You say to somebody, "Oh, wow, I really like Led Zeppelin," and that person will say, "Oh, yeah? What was the name of Jimmy Page's cat that he owned while they were recording the album Physical Graffiti?" You know what I mean? And you say, "Oh, I don't know the name," and you call yourself a fan. The cat's name was Clancy, all right? It was Josh, I had this message sent to me. You like to walk once in a while, you and the lady, what do you call that person, your wife?
Yes.
You guys will go walking around?
We do, yeah.
You like to walk?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do.
Name every muscle used in the process of moving your legs. Oh, you can't name the muscles that go into...
Well, heavily on the penis. I lead with that. What you got your calf.
Okay.
Right, You got your quad. Mm-hmm. Probably some glutes in there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're active in the process of walking. Yeah. Absolutely.
Balls.
Mm-hmm. I like to try to strengthen my core when I walk, so I try to keep my core tight.
Oh, you pull your tummy in.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk about the core these days. I hear a lot about the core.
But when half the walk, your wife has to give you a piggyback on the way back because you're so exhausted and out of shape, you don't use as many muscles.
But you're helping her out by having her use more of her muscles.
Yeah, she's got jacked thighs.
So it's you're doing a nice thing for her.
Yeah, that's all I do are nice things for other people. You got that, dickhead?
All right, whenever we have one of our cop buddies from the State Patrol on our radio show, that officer will usually get a question or two from a listener asking, can I get a DUI on a bicycle? Can I get a DUI on a lawnmower, on a go-kart, a motorized wheelchair, every damn thing. And even though over the years, our cop pals have told us the answers to all of those questions, I can't remember a single one. This much I can tell you. You can get a Dewey on horseback in the state of, by God, California. I wish I could tell you what the rules are here in Minnesota. I know I have a relative who was horseback riding drunk once and was reprimanded by the police. It was so many years ago, I don't remember if they were ticketed for anything. But you can get a DUI on horseback in a night or two ago. A cop working for the California Highway Patrol by the name of Brackett, Officer Brackett. He was on duty when he noticed a horseback rider carrying an open container of alcohol, can of beer, bottle of hooch, I'm not sure what it was. Officer Brackett approached the rider, and after a short investigation, the cop could tell the dude was gooned. So he signed the dude up for a DWI and arrested the guy. The California Highway Patrol made a statement on this arrest. They went ahead and said it's worth noting that according to California Vehicle Code 2 to the 1 to the 050, the rules of the road apply to those operating animals on the highway as well as motor vehicles. After Officer Brackett ruined the night of this drunken cowboy, he did get the horse safely back to where it came from.
Oh, good.
And even though nobody was hurt during this incident, the California Highway Patrol officials took the opportunity to remind people of the dangers of driving impaired in or on any kind of damn thing. They said this incident serves as a reminder that impaired riding, even on a horse, poses risks to both the rider and others on the road. Let's continue to prioritize responsible and sober actions on our roadways. Ain't that a hell of a deal?
Trying to think. I mean, so at first you'd be mortified and embarrassed, but eventually I'd imagine you'd see the humor in your predicament there.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Maybe when you pay back all the fine. I'm sure this isn't going to be cheap.
Oh, gosh, no.
It's a good story.
Would he lose his driver's license then, too?
Yeah, I don't
Good question, yeah.
I would bet
If
Wapple.
it's a DWI, he would have to, I would think.
What if he's just like not allowed to ever ride an animal ever again? They could somehow enforce a ban like that. No more horse riding.
Depending on what you do for a living, that might be a big deal. And yeah, Wapple, I imagine they treat this poor bastard the same way they treat anybody else who picks up a DWI.
Did you lose your license, Wapple?
Yeah. I lost it for, 60 days? 90 days? Yeah, I had my parents had to wake up and drive me to work every day.
I'm sure they loved that.
Oh, yeah, they did.
I was picturing you riding a little bike with like the pom-poms coming out of the handlebars, just pedaling away down the highway.
Yeah, I think I lost it for about 3 weeks. My parents had to drive me in, and then I got a work permit. So then you could go to and from work.
Man, I wish I could have seen your dad's face that first morning you woke him up at 3:30 to drive you to the radio station.
Oh, boy, it would not be my dad. He would not do that.
Oh, his dad just said no?
Yep.
That was Mom?
Yeah, that would be Mom.
All right, mediocre machinist Jesus says you cannot get a DUI on horseback in the state of Minnesota.
Well, I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Get hammered
Stay
and
safe.
Yeah.
ride a horse?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Thinking back to the conversations we've had with cops, our state patrol folks like Gordon Schenk and Roski and all the characters we've had over the years. Don't set that in stone. No offense, mediocre machinist Jesus. He said riding a horse when intoxicated in the state of Minnesota is legal because it is not defined as a motorized vehicle. You may be 100% right, but I remember some of those past state patrol men and women saying it is kind of a judgment call at the same time. And if you are just nearly unconscious on horseback and you're in the middle of a friggin' road, they're probably going to hand you a DUI.
Definitely.
Public intoxication for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they could find something.
A lady up there in Canada spent the night in jail for twerking her ass all up on a Canadian cop. Cops got a call a couple nights ago about a disturbance. A 28-year-old gal was refusing to leave a local business for God knows what reason. A Canadian Mountie showed up and he convinced the lady to leave the business, but she refused to leave the general area. The cop said, go home, friend. And she said, I'm not your friend, guy.
I'm not your guy, buddy.
And the cop said, I'm not your guy, buddy. And she said, I'm not your buddy, guy. The cop suspected that this lady might have been all sideways from taking drugs. So he's trying to get her the hell out of there. He got her out of the place of business. Now he's trying to get her, just walk home, get out of here, call a cab. She won't leave. At one point or another, the cop was attempting to return to his police vehicle for something. The woman blocked his path and began twerking her ass all up on the cop. And she was swearing at him, too. You son of a bitch.
Mixed emotions.
I don't know. I think that might add something for certain people.
True.
I think
Cursing.
Nick digs that. Yeah.
I don't mind getting cursed at if you're going to get all big old ass cheeks knocking into this cop like it was his bachelor party or something. He warned her to stop with the clapping or she'd go to jail. But, there's no stopping it once it gets started. Her big old dumper was just going north, south, east, west, right? It's like a momentum thing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, even when you stop, there's a few seconds where things are still going.
So she was arrested for breach of peace. And he also rang her up for public intoxication.
Can anyone here twerk?
No.
Don't think I've tried, but I highly doubt it.
You've
I
tried.
haven't even tried because I just don't want to be embarrassed to that level. Like, even for myself, if I was alone, I don't need that embarrassment.
Once years ago, Cubby, I had some girls over at the house and they had a twerk off against each other.
Anybody decent at it?
Yeah. I mean,
Doesn't look easy. I tried it. I couldn't get it going.
Were you a judge?
I'm not pardon me?
Were you a judge?
Yes. I was assigned to be the Simon Powell. Is that his name? Simon
Cowell?
I did my best to judge, even though I'm no expert on twerking, but they got things cooking. I'll tell you that right now.
Have you ever seen a 2x4 twerk? Because that would be me.
I don't know what that means.
I see what you're saying.
Now, the cop here that was twerked by the name of Mike Wisenowicz, is he being cute here? He made a comment after this was over, and he said about this twerking lady, he said she came into this incident like a wrecking ball. Isn't that a Miley Cyrus song
Miley
right
Cyrus,
there?
yeah.
Was that what he was trying to do there, Cubby?
I think so.
I guess, but I don't remember her twerking in that video.
No, that's the one where she's riding on the giant wrecking ball.
Nude. Yeah.
Yeah, very little to the imagination.
Yeah, there was a twerk off at my house all those years ago. It was fun.
We have a dork off all the time.
Explain a dork off.
Oh, me and my friends playing video games with each other.
Yeah, you guys are dorks.
That's adorable.
I imagine you and your friends can just be sitting in an empty room doing nothing, and it's kind of a dork off.
Totally.
Right.
It was kind of monumental. Back in the day, me and my friend, we would always play video games LAN style. So I would bring my TV to his house, or he would bring a TV to my house, and we would play video games together.
Yep.
And now he moved to Florida, so we play games online. And we were like, wow, this whole time we were like training for this moment.
That's adorable.
It's amazing that if you would have told yourself back in the day when you moved lugging TVs around that you'd be able to play easily online together, it would have blown your little mind.
Oh, and across the country, too.
Mm-hmm. And my buddy and I were talking about something similar the other day because we used to be those dorks that would record every Raw, every SmackDown. We just had piles of tapes. We'd make copies of tapes, sell them to kids at school. And like, if you would have told us when we were 13 that I could just pull up any wrestling match ever at any period of time on my computer, I would have broke down crying.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been so excited.
I think you'd pass out from just not understanding.
Yeah.
Deputy Sheriff Jesus has checked in. He's a police officer.
Oh.
Deputy Sheriff Jesus here. If that were me getting twerked on by some weirdo, I'd be medically retired collecting twerkers' compensation.
I also had a Super Bowl party years ago, didn't I, Cubby?
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. I forget, did you rent or buy that?
Borrowed.
Why'd you have the coolest parties before I knew you?
I was young then.
Man.
Oh, he's been having them. I just think the invites must have missed your mailbox.
You're getting lost. I have been moving around quite a bit. I understand.
Yeah, who are you running from?
Rented a stripper pole, or borrowed a stripper pole, and I think you can use your imagination from there. All right, moving on with the stupid news. This is just great. A story out of Scotland. This is going to be a battle for me. They got a different way of coming off, a different way of saying things over there, don't they, Josh?
They do.
A story out of Scotland. Cubby, if you ever see me drunk at a bar in Scotland, pull my sad ass out of there before I get killed. I don't think I'm built for what goes on over there after folks have one too many. A drunk fella there in Scotland, he hauled out a circular saw during an argument outside a nightclub.
You win, bro. You win.
He's just got one of those, all right? Little pocket circular saw.
There you go.
It's a satisfying sound in my opinion.
Can you get a mini one, or are they all like the same size? Because I'm picturing
Well,
like
you can
those are
get
large.
one that you can just carry around.
Oh, okay, like a handheld one?
Yeah, battery
This
powered.
effing maniac moron, he goes by the name of Joshua Tidswell. He's 28 years old. He powered up the saw and tried to ring some dude over the head with it. Luckily, he was tackled by bouncers outside of a beer hall. Tidswell. He was boozing with a bro after work, and he had his work tools with him, from what I understand. But again, Scottish story. I tried to understand this as best I could. I'm not 100% about the words that are coming out of their mouths. At one point, this effing idiot was walking around town drunk with his circular saw in hand.
I'd cross the street for sure.
Mm-hmm. Someone on the street made a comment about the saw. I don't know what kind of comment. And it managed to piss this Tidswell clown off so badly, he hit the power button and unleashed, or at least attempted to unleash circular death on that person who made the comment.
I wonder if it was a comment about the manufacturer of the tool. I was a part of one of those, I guess, arguments, a light argument just the other day. People making fun of other people for the
You got your
the type of
Milwaukee
tool.
brand, and okay.
Saying, hey, if you bring this particular brand, you're not allowed on the job site.
Yeah, that's a hot topic. I think my dad, his is DeWalt.
He doesn't like DeWalt, or
He
he
likes
does?
DeWalt.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. The older he gets, the more he doesn't really have those those like back and forths anymore, because recently he used to be a Ford guy his whole life. He's now a Chevy guy.
Well, he ain't mentally well.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed.
No, you can't.
To make that change?
Yeah.
I think that's going to start something,
I
too.
know. That was my plan.
Like I said, some security dudes working out front of a nightclub were able to get a hold of this guy who was swinging a circular saw around the streets of Scotland. It sounds to me like this moron has flipped out before, once he has a couple of drinks in him. Aren't those people the best?
They're so much fun.
I can't control my emotions when I drink like I'm a 15-year-old.
And it's even better when they're the type of person when they're sober that just act like it's no big deal whatsoever. Yeah, I was drunk. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
I have no responsibility.
I take out my personal anger issues on anyone who crosses my path because I haven't grown up yet. Somehow this Tidswell guy has pled not guilty.
That's what you do, I guess, right?
These jeans that he's wearing, Josh.
Jeans?
I sent Ashley a picture of the jeans they caught him wearing. I don't understand them.
Well,
I'm posting it on the website right now. Everyone has to see these jeans.
Yeah, I don't get what's happening there.
Huh. Well, they're kind of, they look like the kind of jeans your dad would wear on a fishing trip.
They're like
very
rip-away jeans.
They're very blue. They have some snaps on them that seem unnecessary.
Yeah, the snaps are what confuses me. It looks like those are pockets at his knees. Knee pockets. Knee pockets.
Well, even this Tidswell guy with the circular saw, even his lawyer said that his behavior can be, quote, unpredictable when he drinks. That's...
Maybe don't drink anymore. Might be the best idea.
Imagine if he would have tripped and just saws his own leg in half right there on the sidewalk.
Yeah, knee pockets are a thing.
Oh, really?
Didn't know that.
Speaking of severed limbs, a practical joke got the attention of the cops in the United Kingdom. You might like the pictures of this setup if they're up on our silly website. The police came rushing in to check on a report of bloody body parts hanging out the top end of a garbage can in a residential neighborhood. There was a blood-soaked arm. There was a couple of legs that were hacked off at the how do you say that? Hacked off at the knee. So for a second, they thought they had a sick maniac serial killer on the loose, but
There were good replicas, for sure. I mean, thankfully, I've never seen a severed limb, but I'd imagine it would look just like this.
before things got too mental, a dude who lived nearby came running up on the cops and told them this was all a prank that had gotten out of hand, so to speak. He told the cops the bloody limbs were fake. More or less said, sorry I blew up. He had put the fake body parts in his neighbor's trash can for laughs.
I can see the humor.
Oh, yeah, I think that was pretty funny.
Especially
After I freaked out. And when I woke back up and I just squeegeed the urine off the front of me, yeah, I think it was funny.
Yeah, it's a cute bit. I'm more of a fake dog turds guy. We used to have lots of laughs with big fat piles of fake dog turds. We fooled my dad a couple of times. He was a sucker for fake dog coilers. Those were fun days.
And you even have a buddy that makes them, don't you?
He used to.
Used to? Okay.
He used to run a warehouse where they made some kind of swill, some kind of home project. Help me out, Josh. There's a term I'm missing. Some kind of stuff that you use in your home to stick things together.
Great stuff? Oh, okay. I was thinking like a great stuff.
It doesn't matter. Some kind of
adhesive.
There you go.
Is that what you're looking for?
Some kind of adhesive was involved in this product. Thank you. And yeah, if he added a certain coloring to it, I don't care who you are. The dog whisperer that used to be on television all the time, he would think it's an actual pile of dog feces. That's how realistic this stuff was. So we used to prank people, and it was good times.
Is the dog whisperer still doing shows?
That's a good question.
Quiet. That's what he would do.
I remember that, yeah.
I just quieted Dana down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was his
You're
bit.
very obedient, Dana.
Thank you. I've been working at it.
I'm successful again. I've done it again. I'm a Dana whisperer.
Yeah, I only remember him really from the South Park episode. I never watched the program.
I've only seen it a couple of times.
Oh. Now, I'm all for supporting the men and women of our armed forces. We all are. Some folks get a little carried away. Some dude up in Canada called the effing cops because he saw someone walking down the street wearing camouflage pants.
He's got nothing from the waist down.
Oh, that's okay.
No, that's not why he called. The dude called the cops and said he was, quote, offended on behalf of the military. He had it in his head that civilians were not allowed to wear those kinds of pants.
So I had some shorts like that right?
Yeah,
Some camo
you,
shorts.
Yeah, you were rocking those. I had a pair of camo pants and camo shorts that I wore down to nothing. Yeah.
I remember the pants.
I love it. I love camo. But I did have that thought once, like, am I allowed to wear something like this as a coward and a civilian?
As a coward. You did? That crossed your mind?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I had that thought when I used to own like a pair of shorts that were camo, and that felt like oddly disrespectful.
I've heard, theories before, but listen to how far this guy took it. The dude on the line who called the cops, he ordered the police to find the guy in the camo pants and remove them.
Take those pants off.
The cops told Captain Canada here, they told him that the forced removal of someone's pants would be illegal even if they are camouflaged. He then told the cops that if they wouldn't pull another grown man's pants off of him, he'd do it himself.
No.
And he said he would pull the pants off of the guy, quote, under order of the King of England.
What is going on?
The cops tried to talk this dude out of that plan of action. And here's a cute comment from the cops. They said they did look for the man reportedly wearing the camouflage pants, but they couldn't find him. Now, if you've been listening closely to today's Stupid News, that comment was made by Mike Wisinovich, the same dude who handed a how do I say it, Josh?
A DWI or DUI, I forgot what they
That's
called
the same guy who handed a DUI to a guy on horseback.
Right?
Right?
Is that the only cop they
He's
got there?
busy.
Let me go back to make sure I threw away the...
I used to wear, my favorite hat was a camo Minnesota Wild hat. Remember when they did that, supporting the military?
Oh, sure.
I stopped wearing it because I had two people who were retired service members ask me, where I served and things like that. And then I felt like, oh no, stolen valor, or something like that. I'm like, no, it was just a hat they gave out at a Wild game,
I'll remember this for a long, long time. Sergeant Mike Wisinovich, the same guy who handed a DWI to a guy on horseback, got involved in this man calling the cops about camouflage pants. Canada's got a lot going on.
Because there's nothing else.
Wasn't the dude on the horse in California, though?
Oh. I threw it away.
Oh, you're right. It was. I thought it was Canada, too.
No. Here's where I got mistaken. The same cop who had the gal twerking on him.
Okay.
Mike Wisinovich also got involved in this camouflage pants caper. Okay, that's where I got lost.
I can't take this camo call. I got this girl twerking on me.
So, Ashley, I don't know if neck like a stack of dimes, arms like buggy whips Jesus ever served, but he does say there is nothing disrespectful about short shorts.
Good to know.
So you keep wearing them in his estimation.
All right, sounds good.
All right, you guys know those silly fashion shows where models go up and down the aisle wearing ridiculous outfits that no one in their right mind would ever wear?
Yep.
There's a big one going on right now. They call it New York City Fashion Week. It's held every year in Milwaukee.
Correct.
Some dude decided to throw a monkey wrench into their operation by walking the aisle while wearing just a clear plastic rain poncho on his body, pink shorts, and a shower cap on his head.
It looked completely normal. It looked like he would fit in.
He wasn't invited, and security had to chase the guy out of there.
No, you're right. I mean, they wear stuff nobody would wear in public. I don't fully understand the philosophy there.
Who buys it? Do
Nobody
people
buys
actually buy
it. No one buys that. But if I was at one of these and I saw this coming, I would just assume it was another weird choice. Now, Nick, let me ask you, as a former runway model yourself.
Yes?
Do you remember what you wore in your debut?
Yes, vaguely. It was
it something you'd actually wear?
No, but it was... Go ahead, somebody else.
All right. Well, I'll just tell you this. Nick was asked, because of his handsomeness and his command of the stage, to be a runway model many years ago.
Okay. It wasn't ridiculous. It was some kind of lightweight beach wear. Like, say, maybe I'm going out for a night on the town in Miami, and I want to look kind of dressy, but I still want it to be
sure, like fun,
Did you
beachy.
have a loose white shirt on?
sort of.
No way.
I still want it to be
like Miami Vicey?
not so hot.
Yeah.
Did you practice your walk? I gotta see your walk.
No.
Step
Do you
and turn.
like that? Do you do a hair flip?
This was 25 years ago. But yeah, it was like a light suit for beach wear. That much I do remember. It was terrible. I was too much of a team player back then. Now I'm much, much more selfish with what goes on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm much more about myself nowadays because this was a time where they just needed some on-air personality from the radio station to represent us at this TV and radio dork fashion show. And
I thought they said we need a hot body specifically.
Yeah, well, they were looking
It
for...
wasn't like, sometimes they just need a body.
They were looking for somebody to sling a little heat.
Yeah, they said a hot body.
Yeah, so I went and did this thing. The best part of the whole event was I got to see a top local news anchor, and it's not Randy Shaver. I got to meet and then see a top local news anchor dude in just his silk boxers.
Oh.
I think I know who you're talking about, and I bet there'd be a line to see that.
Yeah. Dude had just the most beautiful, as we were changing, he had the most beautiful silk underwear. I couldn't believe, I said, man, where the hell
I don't think I could wear silk underwear.
What was I saying now? So this guy, the term I'm looking for, kind of stormed the fashion show. He's in his clear plastic rain poncho. He's got just a pair of pink shorts on and a shower cap on his head. They chased him out of there. Oh, okay. But he made it quite a ways down the runway before anyone noticed he wasn't supposed to be there. And like you guys were saying, that says something about the dopey outfits these models wear. It took him a while to realize this guy didn't belong.
Yep. I think he could have made it all the way if he wasn't looking so suspicious walking down.
Well, he looked suspicious.
I didn't think he looked suspicious. Like, what do you mean?
Like he kept looking behind him to check if someone was
notice
coming
that.
when he was walking down the runway. Yeah.
Oh, you guys know okay, you'll like this. The friggin' English, man. You know how much I dislike how they come off. Listen to this. Here's how they told the story. The security guard grabbed a hold of the man and drug him away from the runway, leaving the audience nonplussed.
Oh, boy, I have been nonplussed before.
Not gobsmacked. This is a new one. Now, when I first read the story, I was so pissed off I didn't even look up what that means.
Just confused.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, surprised and confused.
He left the audience nonplussed.
Yeah, never heard that.
I give up.
And nobody knows how Rain Poncho Dude was able to pull this off so easily, but there he was.
I think he's a big YouTuber.
That's what I saw in some text messages, yeah.
The greatest video on planet Earth connected to runway modeling. Remember that friggin' video from years ago where a gal continues over and over again to turn her ankles on the high heel shoes she's wearing?
Yes.
And the news anchors in Atlanta cannot stop laughing at this. If you are having a terrible day, watch that video. The two news anchor dudes are laughing harder than they ever have in their entire life watching the video of this lady continuously turn her ankles. You cannot help but get happy watching how much fun those two men are having. You cannot help it. I'm telling you, if you have a horrible day, that's where you should turn. You'll love it.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And I sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off, and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me.
I'm minding my own business, watching some film, trying to get ready, trying to get out here and be the best coach I could be, and I look up and I read some bull junk that Dan said about us. Once again, why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts off, and do our job on Saturday. But when they give us ammunition They done messed around and made it what? It was just gonna be a good game. They done messed around and made it personal. It was gonna be a great test, a battle of Colorado, but they done messed around and made it personal.
Yeah, the 24-hour whack-off party for Deion Sanders isn't showing signs of slowing down. What's going on there is, so Deion Sanders coaches the University of Colorado. This weekend they're playing Colorado State University. Big rivalry.
The battle for Colorado.
Oh, my God. The head coach at Colorado State, he goes by the name of Jay Norvell. He decided to take a little shot at Deion. You know, when Deion is talking to the media, he likes to wear sunglasses and a hat. That's his thing. Norville, whatever his name is, he said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my sunglasses off. That's what my mother taught me. And then you heard Deion there saying that this game just got personal. I like when he calls Norville's comments, Josh, when he calls them bull junk.
Me too. I haven't heard that one before.
So, there you go.
It changed the betting lines. Now people are saying Deion is going to play harder.
They're going to win by 7 touchdowns instead of 4.
Yeah, it's rallied the team.
Because I don't think Colorado State is much of a football team, but neither was Colorado until Deion came around. The Vikings last night, they made an unwatchable game watchable towards the end, did they not?
They did.
I stopped watching.
They came back and made some noise, but when the dust had settled, it was a 34-28 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, so the boys start the season 0-2. 3 turnovers in week 1, 4 should have been 5 turnovers last night.
I turned it off at halftime, or like a little bit after halftime, and then when I went to turn it on again because I thought they were coming back, 3 seconds later, the Eagles scored a touchdown. I was like, oh, great. All right, turning it off again, I guess.
It wasn't the best way to start the second half there with that fumble, but, they made it a ball game. I'll tell you this much about that friggin' Vikings defense. My guy, Cubby, could crack off 7 yards a pop if you handed him the football.
I'd like to see that.
I mean, Josh, you could average 7 yards per carry against the Vikings.
Well, what did they say that Smith, what's his name again? The running back, not the receiver for Philadelphia.
Swift, I believe.
Swift? Okay, Swift. I thought they said he was 5'6". He doesn't look 5'6".
No way.
I don't know. He's a tiny little dude, but he was zigzagging all up and down the Vikings' ass last night. We'll get into it with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. We'll also talk about the Twins. They crushed the White Sox last night. Dad Fights 100 plus 43 with Brandy and Brad will be also in our next sports report, but don't go nowheres because my guy Cubby's coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Introducing Rich Valdez, America at Night, the podcast.
Welcome to the Conversation Familia.
A perfect blend of news and entertainment, interviews and insights.
Eye-opening, nothing very surprising, but definitely eye-opening.
America's nighttime town hall whenever you want.
What else could it possibly mean?
Rich Valdez, America at Night.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Follow the podcast wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
It's just something that boggles the mind, how that person could be continuously out here in our streets doing this.
A creep pushing a toddler in a stroller has been terrorizing women on Manhattan's Upper East Side for months, body checking them into the walls and spitting in their faces in unprovoked attacks. At least 5 women have been targeted since June and as recently as Saturday by the brute, who remains on the run.
Apparently had spit on some girls who were walking by, and in that same moment, she was violently pushed to the ground by the same man who was pushing a stroller.
Several other women said they were attacked by the same man in a similar fashion. On Friday, a woman said he spat in her eye as she walked her dog.
All of a sudden, he lunged at me and wordlessly mercilessly spit in my face, in my eye. I was shocked, super scared. I turned around because I thought he was going to hit me.
In each of the cases, the jerk was pushing the stroller with a kid in it when he attacked. Police believe more women have been attacked and expressed concern for the safety of the young boy in that stroller.
Does the little kid have 5 o'clock shadow and a little cigar hanging out its mouth?
I'm with you. This is a team effort.
Kind of reminds me of those, remember the old Bugs Bunny episodes when someone would always try to be a baby? They'd put him in the stroller. They always had 5 o'clock shadow and a cigar in their mouth. Well, that's a little concerning, right, Cubby?
Yeah. There are also douchebags in Spain. A Spanish television reporter was in the middle of a live broadcast from the streets of Madrid when a creep walked up to her and fondled her buttocks.
Oh, no.
Leading to his arrest. On Tuesday, a correspondent was reporting on a story about a local store clerk who beat up a suspected thief when a man in sunglasses accosted her from behind before asking her which television station she worked for. She explained she was in the middle of a live broadcast and tried to continue with the coverage until a host in the studio stepped in. "Sorry to interrupt. Did he just touch your butt?" he asked. "Yes," the reporter replied with an uncomfortable smile. The host insisted the reporter put the alleged groper, who he called an idiot, on camera. The reporter then confronted the man and asked, "As much as you want to ask us which channel we work for, do you really have to touch my ass? I'm doing a live show and I'm working," she added. The man denied touching her. When she insisted he did touch her, he said sorry and tried to shake her hand. But the reporter brushed him off and asked him to let her do her job. As he walked away, he attempted to ruffle the reporter's hair as she ducked out of the way, prompting the host in the studio to call him stupid. Meanwhile, the man continued lingering in the street, and the reporter claimed she wasn't the only target of his unwanted advances. "It's not just me, it's happening to every woman he comes across," she said. After the reporter admitted on camera the encounter had made her nervous, the man approached her again, saying he had heard her accusations and she should tell the truth. The delusional, dim-witted douchebag is now facing some serious legal trouble.
Yeah, sounds like somebody needs to be power bombed. You know what I mean? Someone needs a buckshot lariat, don't they, Wapple?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what makes a guy think he can just walk up and touch another human being?
Unbelievable.
Especially on their butt without permission.
Good question.
Let alone you're on camera.
Yeah, seriously.
Wasn't me, man.
Yeah, how
It's
are
just
you
the-
ever going to find that out?
The look on his dopey face, too, disgusted me. A coroner in Kentucky is accused of leaving a body inside a hot car overnight instead of properly placing it in a freezer.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, this is gross. A new lawsuit accuses former Morgan County coroner Raymond Van Cleve of mishandling the corpse of Nathan Payton. Payton's brother said when they buried him, the body had decomposed so badly the man's family was forced to hold a closed casket funeral, and people puked from the smell.
When the funeral home went to pick him up, they said, "Oh my God, we've got a problem." When they buried him, he had to remain in the body bag, closed casket. People actually got sick at the funeral from the odor that was emanating from the casket.
According to the lawsuit filed Tuesday, when Payton died, Van Cleve, then the coroner, retrieved the corpse. However, instead of taking the corpse to the state medical examiner's office or putting it in cold storage, he kept the body in a sealed body bag inside an SUV parked at his home for some reason.
Wow.
According to the complaint, the coroner kept the corpse in his car for almost an entire day.
Oh.
The lawsuit says Van Cleve didn't have permission to store bodies because apparently he previously had failed to collect them on time. He resigned from his position as coroner once the lawsuit was filed.
Sounds like it's about time to resign.
Could you imagine being at like the funeral for your loved one and there's people just like throwing up everywhere?
That's a nightmare.
Someone comes up with some Febreze, just sprays down the casket.
This'll do.
A shirtless Pennsylvania man was arrested for allegedly trying to hurt people outside a church. 30-year-old Benjamin Brower Jr. was arrested Wednesday on felony charges following an incident at the Salvation Army Church, where he was seen on surveillance video taping razor blades to the hand railing. The razor was removed after a pastor discovered surveillance video of the man's actions. The pastor said Bauer has no connection to the church. According to the affidavit, nobody was injured.
Nobody got caught up by that?
Luckily, they just happened to catch it in time.
That's a sick sumbitch right there.
Yep.
4 people were arrested in Hong Kong for robbing a luxury watch store, and one of the robbers is 10. Police say 20 watches worth a total of almost $500,000 were stolen in the Monday robbery. Police said a 10-year-old used a sledgehammer to smash glass display cases.
Did he have a little 5 o'clock shadow and a cigar hanging out his mouth?
They rolled him in a baby carrier.
Yeah.
The investigation revealed he skipped school that day and joined the gang to commit the crime. The 3 other suspects arrested were all teenagers, 14, 17, and 19. The boy was allegedly paid about $640 to take part in the heist. Reported robberies in Hong Kong spiked more than 40% from January to June. Police say all the watches have been recovered.
Wait, I'm sorry. How much did you say his cut was?
$640.
I don't think that's enough. I think they stiffed him.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of money until you realize it was worth $500,000.
Yeah. You know how excited I would have been as a 10-year-old if I would have been asked to join a jewelry heist gang?
To skip school. Hey, don't go to school and learn multiplication today. Let's go rob some people.
You know how excited I would have been as a 10-year-old if I could lift a sledgehammer?
How excited you'd be today if you could lift a sledgehammer?
Ecstatic.
That would be thrilling.
A couple faces criminal charges after allegedly trashing a Burger King in Arizona and then challenging employees to a fight over wait time in the drive-thru and the number of chicken nuggets in a value pack. The incident started Saturday afternoon when 44-year-old Cherie Ross became impatient at how long it was taking to get her food, and then she threw a cup through the drive-thru. When a worker threw the cup back at her, Ross pulled the car over and went into the store, accompanied by her husband, Tavares. Another woman joined them. She has not been identified. The trio proceeded to throw displays and challenge employees to fight. Tavares also threw a glass cookie display at one of the employees, who deflected it with his hand, karate style, before it shattered on the floor.
All right, that sounds pretty cool.
I think we have new employee of the month.
Police caught Cherie Ross after an employee gave police her license plate number. After being pulled over, she allegedly told police she knew she was in the wrong and was just heated in the moment. So I'm glad she at least realized it. She also identified her husband, who was arrested at his job at another fast food restaurant.
Entitlement. It's spreading faster than gonorrhea.
Well, he works at a fast food restaurant. You think maybe he'd have some sympathy and understand that, sometimes things happen, but apparently not. Memorial Blood Centers is putting out a call for blood donors after announcing a blood emergency.
There's a blood emergency?
There is one, yes.
Okay.
The organization says regional blood supplies are well below the preferred 5 to 7 day supply due to low blood donor turnout over the summer months. While all blood types are needed, types O positive, O negative, B negative, and platelets are considered to be critically low. Officials say the shortage is particularly affected by a sharp decrease in young and first-time donors, as many schools and colleges have stopped hosting blood drives. The American Red Cross also issued a similar national blood shortage alert earlier this week. More information about blood donations, including locations and scheduling information across Minnesota and Wisconsin, can be found on 93x.com.
We had the blood bank come to our school when I was in high school. I
never
loved
did.
that because you got to get out of, even if you didn't really want to donate blood, when you found out they were coming, you were like, heck yeah, I'll do it, because you'd get out of class for about an hour.
And they give you a cookie.
Yep, they gave us Uncrustables and juice boxes. That was the plug.
Well, Josh...
that was the plug.
What's that? That was the plug?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know, like they hooked us up. That was sweet.
Oh, that's
clutch.
a new word for getting hooked up? It's called a plug?
Yeah.
I was called a plug by my stepson and didn't know what it was, and when I found out, I was very proud.
Yeah.
And I felt
That's
like
a compliment, yeah.
he does love me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I call people plugs, but it's short for butt plug.
Oh.
Yeah, usually you proceed it with butt.
that dude's a total plug.
Yeah, it's a good thing now.
It's a generational thing, I
Wait,
guess.
Yeah, I
maybe it's
guess
not.
so.
Maybe he was calling me a butt plug.
Yeah, I mean, are you
he
sure?
wasn't.
Now my day's ruined.
What was the context of the conversation? Because, yeah, that's something, that dude over there, Donnie, I don't like him. Yeah, he's a total plug. That's the route I take. I didn't know that there were other meanings for the word.
Yeah.
But anyway, if we have a real blood emergency on our hands, Josh, I think you should be our guy. You're probably the only one of the 5 of us that's clean.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing would show up in my unless Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know if that's.
This guy's 60% Mountain Dew.
You made me realize that the blood I donated in high school was probably worthless.
Yeah, they threw that bag away.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who worked for the local blood bank. That guy, he was a total plug. You see what I mean? That's how I go with it. All right, we'll have to we'll sort this out.
Let's see here.
But you're saying, Ashley, a bonus can be called a plug.
Yeah, like if you have a good weed dealer, I'd call him. He's the plug. He's the one you want to go to.
I was heard like reliable, helpful.
Yep.
Or like you said, a hookup.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You can count on it.
I'm going to call Randy Shaver a plug here in about 15 minutes, and we'll see how he takes it.
Okay. Deal.
Maybe he...
Now in theaters, A Haunting in Venice. In post-World War II Venice, Perrault, now retired and living in his own exile, reluctantly attends a Halloween seance. But when one of the guests is murdered, it's up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer. Kenneth Branagh returns as Perrault. Tina Fey, Michelle Yeoh, and Jamie Dornan star as well. Sunday on HBO, the second season finale of Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. Today on Apple TV Plus, the second season finale of Foundation. Then streaming on Peacock, Fast X, the 10th main installment in the long-running Fast and Furious franchise. On Starz, Heels wraps up its sophomore season tonight. Also on Starz, the streaming debut of John Wick 4. Next week and through select dates in early October, a cocktail lounge called Welcome to the Continental, the hotel bar experience, inspired by the beloved Keanu Reeves John Wick franchise, will be opening in New York City. Inside, guests will be transported to the Continental from the world of John Wick, a prequel series from Peacock that begins on the 22nd. That reveals how Hotel for Assassins, a key element of John Wick's world, came to fruition in the chaos of New York City in the 70s. The press release said Assassin guests, fans can sip cocktails, experience live interactive storylines, take photos with characters, all with a killer twist, quote unquote.
It's pretty cool.
Welcome to the Continental. The hotel bar experience opens next Thursday. New music this week includes CMF2 from Corey Taylor.
Man.
CMF2 is the sequel to 2020's CMFT.
You know how you know it's the end of the week and you've stopped caring, Josh? When you said a new record by Corey Taylor, I pictured Corey Feldman.
He had a band for a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did.
30 Seconds to Mars' sixth album, It's the End of the World, But It's a Beautiful Day, is out today. Frontman and heartthrob Jared Leto said he thinks the new album is the best the band has ever done. For the rest of the week's new rock, check out our notable new releases post on 93x.com, just like we do every week. Also, our playlist on Spotify. Sunday, Alexander Ovechkin turns 38. Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark, will be 72. Weren't we talking about getting an interview with her? I thought that...
Yeah, not that long ago, we were talking about some Comic Con or some kind of con is coming to town, and her name came up.
Yeah. Boy, I hope that happens. Boy, as a young person, did I have a thing for her. Amy Poehler, 52 tomorrow. Molly Shannon, 59. Richard Marx, 60.
He wrote some pretty decent hits there, didn't he, Cubby?
That's a talented fella for sure. Mickey Rourke, 71, somehow. Vikings lineman and former guest of the 93X Morning Show, Brian O'Neill, 28 today. Tom Hardy, 46. Tommy Lee Jones, 77. Thanks to Metal Grinding Deburring Jesus and the crew at G&K Machining in East Bethel for listening this morning. Double D Jesus sends her congratulations to Courtney and Matthew getting married today. Happy anniversary to Joe and his better half. Joe said he's going to give her the full 20 seconds instead of the usual 15 this weekend.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a special weekend for him. Happy belated 48th to Basement Window Peeper Jesus. Happy birthday to Can't Relax Before 8 p.m. Jesus from his son Big Rig Fenders Jesus. Happy 8th to Blake on Sunday from Dad Peterbilt Jesus. Happy birthday to Trucker Chris on Sunday. And, of course, a very, very special happy birthday on Sunday to the center of my universe, the better part of me, the owner of my heart, my longest and truest friend, and the reason I can pay my mortgage, Nick.
Who's this talking?
Right there, that's you. This is me.
That was Josh?
Yeah.
Ditto.
And, of course, happy birthday to his twin, Steve. And,
I completely forgot about him.
You guys have the same birthday.
We do. I haven't talked to him in a long friggin' time.
And unrelated to Nick's sister, hip hip. Tim365 Jesus text in a happy birthday to Nick's brother Steve as well. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Wearing masks and robbing people in these back streets.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Brandon Howell collects at the 46-yard line, swings to the outside into Eagles territory, and a good run back, but then he coughs the ball up. And the Philadelphia Eagles come away with the ball. Alexander Madison is the running back from the 35-yard line. And again, the ball is out. Eagles think they have it.
Yep, ball is out.
23 yards, the fake to Madison. The pass is caught. And Hawkinson bangs his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Cousins hanging in. Cousins deep. And it's hauled in, and the ball comes out.
I wonder if that could potentially be a touchback.
After review, the fumble went over the pylon, which by rule results in a touchback.
Cousins loses the ball, and it's picked up. And down to the 7-yard line go the Eagles. Pressure on Cousins, steps up, throws deep downfield, caught. And that's the rookie Addison for the touchdown. Play action. Look out from behind. Throws wide open is K.J. Osborne for the touchdown. Blitz coming, pressure put on, caught into the end zone for the touchdown. T.J. Hawkinson. 3rd and 6. Cousins.
See what he's got in him.
As far as he can throw it. What's going to go on down here? Knocked away. Jefferson in the neighborhood. And that's going to do it.
Tough loss, solid opponent. Shot ourselves in the foot with the turnovers. Similar story now the first 2 weeks in that case. It's difficult to win in this league when you lose the turnover battle by 1, let alone by the margin we've lost it by. So, we got to fix those mistakes and not let it continue.
I'm putting it a lot on myself. Just fumbling in the end zone like that. When we need points and we're driving and we having that momentum. Of course, being the captain of the team, the situation, take care of the ball. I was telling my teammates, that was on me, and it won't happen again.
Clearly, I've got to coach it better from a standpoint of something we talk about every single day. Ball security is a major focus in our football philosophy. We're really not giving ourselves clean opportunities to win these games the way we've started, and I've got to do a better job, and we've got to continue to emphasize it.
All right, it's Friday. That means we're going to have a fight on our hands. Our fighters, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, are here, I believe. Sup, boys?
Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Come near 8 o'clock. We'll be unleashing a fresh edition of Dad Fights, the 143rd edition of the trivia game. If you were expecting to hear long snapper Andrew DePaula this morning, hell, he just got off an airplane about 4 hours ago, so we told him to take the day off and sleep in. He's probably not quite as tired as the Vikings defense, who were chasing Eagles running backs all over the friggin' field
That
last
did look
night.
exhausting.
Ah, my damn.
Boy, they were out there a long time.
How many rushing yards did the Eagles pick up last?
250-something.
Oh, was it 250?
Well, 259. I think it was 259.
259. 48 carries.
259, and we had 28. If you tell me that before the game, I'm going to tell you who's going to win the game.
Mm-hmm. The Vikings totaled 28 rushing yards to the Eagles' 250. The most important statistic, of course, the final score was 34-28. Here's a text message from Fat Lebowski, who says, "Way to go, Vikes. You got pumped harder than Wapple's fleshlight during a Golden Girls marathon." I don't know they got pumped that badly. I said earlier they made an unwatchable game watchable again.
They did.
Well, it's the same thing I said after the first week. When you're going to lay everything on the quarterback and the receiver, it might be entertaining at times, but it's not a winning formula.
I hear you, Brad Ryder, and they turned the ball over 4. Should have been 5 times.
Yes.
The 5th turnover was called back for a penalty.
And you watched last night, and you see the value of a very, very good offensive line.
Yep.
That's the value of, if you feel like you don't need to put draft picks into the offensive line, watch the Eagles. Because all they did was they just manhandled the Vikings up front. And they ran the ball down their throats with a great offensive line. They controlled the tempo, the game, the clock, everything. Yes, the Vikings made it a game with a couple of late scores, but that wasn't the story of the game. The story of the game was turnovers and the fact that the Eagles ran the ball down their throats.
Kirk Herbstreit brought up a good point toward the end of the game. Is if you were watching, he said, He said people in Philadelphia are going to wake up this morning and say, what's wrong with Jalen Hurts? Well, there's nothing wrong with Jalen Hurts in the passing offense. They didn't need it, so why use it when your offensive line can blow people off the line like that? There's no reason for them to throw more than I think they only threw like 20 times last night.
Oh, hell no!
You know?
When you're cutting loose with 7-8 yards a carry, what the hell do you care about throwing the ball? Kirk Herbstreit. It took me a while to recognize who that was sitting next to Al Michaels last night when I watched a little bit of the game. The man finally no longer looks like he's 22 years old.
He looks almost 30 now.
Yeah, and that's not a knock on the guy. He just finally, the guy was so youthful, looked like a Josh type of a character. So youthful looking all the time. What was the stat that grabbed me otherwise for last night's game? In the first half, the Eagles had the football for nearly 21 minutes. The Vikings had it for 9, and that's the value of running the living hell out of the ball.
Well, and the fact the Vikings turned the ball over, that didn't help. But, yeah, you're right. And then the Vikings get another injury on the offensive line, and here we are after 2 weeks. 2 of their starting players are down with serious injuries.
They're going to have to start making some phone calls here.
Yeah.
They're running out of guys to play the offensive line.
It's just not a good scenario.
So they start the season 0-2.
Yep. And then they get the Chargers on Sunday, and they get the Chiefs the next week. So the schedule just doesn't get – there are no breaks. And if you're looking to play division games that give you breaks – you can forget about that too. So it's just going to be a tough road here to go. There's no doubt.
A lot of fans, a lot of Vikings fans at least, were pissed off at the touchback rule, that Justin Jefferson play where he coughed the ball out the back of the end zone. A lot of folks are saying, that's a stupid rule. It always has been. I hate that rule, this and that and this and that.
Cousins deep, and it's pulled in, and the ball comes out.
I wonder if that could potentially be a touchback. Him reaching for the pylon, that ball came out.
After review, the fumble went over the pylon, which by rule results in a touchback.
What do you guys think?
I think it's the rule.
It's the rule, and then it went against us, so people think it's a stupid rule. But if it went for us, everybody would have thought it was a great rule.
Well, it wasn't all Vikings fans online. Surely you make a good point that, of course, there are plenty of football fans out there who, where anything that goes negatively against their team, they'll, start a riot over.
It just goes back to what Kevin O'Connell said. You just got to take better care of the ball, and you got to realize where you're at on the field. And everybody wants to stretch out and get over the pylon, but boy, you better be careful down there because that rule is in effect, and if you lose it, you're going to lose the ball.
But what do you think of the rule? You like it? See, I personally like it because
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's fine.
It's the rule.
Yeah, like Randy said, it's the rule. How do you argue that?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. One thing I don't understand about Kevin O'Connell is, why are you taking the blame for ball control? That's not your responsibility. These guys are grown men, professional players. It's their responsibility to hold on to the football. It's not how many more times can you say hold on to the football? That
he's a young guy.
I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to take the pressure off of them, but that's just come on. That's not your responsibility.
I personally like that touchback rule because it can turn the game on a dime for no real good reason. You know what I mean? Here the Eagles are ready to give up a touchdown, and then Jefferson coughs the ball out the back of the end zone, and the Eagles can say to themselves, well, hey, now we get the ball on the 20. I like it because it's ridiculous. And that
was a huge play because if he gets in, it's 14-10. But instead, they go down and get a field goal, and at halftime, it's 13-7 instead of being 14-10.
No doubt.
Yeah, there you go. I dig it. Here's a listener that says, without that rule, what stops players from purposely fumbling the ball forward? I didn't think about that.
Yes, exactly.
That's fun.
We used to call it the super fumble in backyard football. You could fumble it forward and then run and pick it back up and keep running.
There you go. The super fumble, he called it. What does this say? Here's a text that says, I'm awfully quiet about Kirko chains today. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm asking the listener. Get back to me. What do you mean by that? What about Kirk Cousins?
I don't think there's anything wrong with how Kirk Cousins played. Again, you can't lay any of that on him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fumble that he had when he was blindsided, I mean, that's not his fault.
No.
I mean, come on. That's
He threw
just
for
not his fault.
364 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. You can't lay last night on him at all.
So, hopefully this guy will get back to me as to what he means by that. Are you saying that he had a great game, and usually I criticize his game?
There were some people on Twitter, and this is one of the dumbest takes I've seen in a long time, saying that the fumble was actually Kirk's fault because he should have placed the ball.
Oh my
should
gosh.
have placed the throw better to Jefferson.
Yeah, that's
What?
That's one of the biggest reaches of all time.
There are people in this town who, if we won the Super Bowl, would blame him for something that went wrong in the parade. I'm serious.
That's true.
Oh, the guy got back to me. You enjoy ripping on him. He played great. I don't really normally pay much attention to his play, but yes, I do enjoy ripping on him.
But even earlier this week, you were saying how he's better than Josh Allen. So you've been showing him some love lately.
I'm just not a fan of the guy. I can't wait for him to leave town. But did he have a great game last night? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's tough. I don't really follow that closely. All right, the Detroit Lions home opener is coming up this weekend at Ford Field. They play Seattle. What do you think about this idea? Lions defensive back C.J. Gardner-Johnson is calling for Lions fans to come to the ballpark wearing blue ski masks.
What's the purpose
Why?
of that?
Yeah.
Can someone do that?
I don't think so.
I thought that ballparks didn't like you to have your face fully concealed.
Yeah, they usually don't because then the
They don't,
cameras.
yeah.
It's like a motivating thing. It's some kind of gimmick this Gardner Johnson is going with. He's claiming that the Lions are villains. That's the culture he wants to portray for
Is that their edge? That they're the villains, they're the bad guys.
Yeah, right,
exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I got you.
Kind of like
That's their motivation.
Teams always get these funny ideas about what their identity is. What's his nuts, the tight end for the Chiefs, who embarrassed himself last year after they won the Super Bowl, talking about nobody believed in us.
Right,
That was still one of the dumbest moments in televised
So
sports
dumb.
history.
Everybody believed in you.
We beat all the doubters again. Nobody said, dude, everyone said.
Everybody thinks the Chiefs suck.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Worst team I've ever seen.
Ben Roethlisberger and Blake Bortles have now popped up as possibilities to take the MILF man's place for the New York Jets if he stinks the joint up.
He's going to be just fine.
You really think he's going to be their starter all the way through?
He is. I think he's going to be until he gets hurt. I think he's going to be just fine.
All right, fine. There's also people saying that the Jets are going to trade for Kirk Cousins.
Well,
this guy that I hate so much.
He has a full no-trade clause.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Robert Griffin, Part 3, says he's the veteran quarterback that the Jets need.
Oh, for God's sake.
He tried to sneak that one in there, didn't he?
I think it was in college last time he played.
Talk about free agent quarterback. Some of these guys like Carson Wentz, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, myself, it's not that we can't play the game anymore. It's that we're a big distraction if you bring us in. I had a GM tell me this offseason, hey, man, I know you can still play. You look like you can still play. But if we bring you in, it's going to be a distraction for our starting quarterback. So now that your starter and Aaron Rodgers is out, you can potentially go and grab some of those guys.
He did everything but put his cell phone number on the screen. That wasn't very subtle.
What a joke.
Well, so what did you say about a no trade clause? So,
yeah, he has a full no trade
let's
clause.
say the Vikings wanted to trade Kirk Cousins today to the Jets, right? The Jets made him some terrific offer. You think that Captain Deathrocks would say, no, I want to stay here in Minnesota?
I don't know. I just know he has the option. Even if the Jets unloaded the farm to the Vikings, but Kirk could just say, no, I'm good.
Well, yeah, but what do you think? You got everyone. What do you think? You think he would
want to make the Vikings even more unwatchable? Go ahead and trade Kirk Cousins right now. I mean, seriously, that's the only thing holding the team together at this point. And are you going to be the GM and walk into the locker room and tell the other 52 players,
That's right.
hey guys, you know what? We're going to go with what's our backup's name
I'm
the
just
rest of the
looking
year.
that up right now.
I mean, seriously, you're going to lose the entire locker room.
Yeah.
There's
Sure,
no way.
I understand. What are you so mad about, Brad?
Well, when I hear these things, they're so ridiculous. It's not even. It's stuff that's not even possible.
Maybe if you start the season 0-6. Maybe if you know what I mean? Maybe you get out of the gates and you don't win a game until October, right before the trade deadline. Then I guess at that point it does make some sense in the fact that if your plans don't include Cousins for next year, and you can still make that deal, then you probably do it. When you feel like your season is kind of basically done.
Yeah.
But you don't do that now.
No.
You don't do it now.
Something named Nick Mullins is the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
You just don't do it.
Speaking of quarterbacks.
And you don't talk about it now either. That's just a distraction too.
Speaking of quarterbacks, now, I haven't heard this before. Some folks call Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. They call him the Tiger King. I haven't heard that nickname.
Tiger King.
But that's not sitting right with that friggin' lunatic from that television show from years ago. Was it called Tiger King?
Yes. Yep.
Exotic Joe. Remember him?
Joe Exotic.
I remember him. How could you forget?
So, I love this stuff because every once in a while I read some article where this Exotic Joe is calling to be released from prison. You know, he's doing 22 years after being found guilty by a federal jury for a murder for hire plot against the gal's name was Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Did everyone here watch Tiger King?
I did.
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Such a weird time.
I did. I didn't watch the last 2 episodes just because I was so burned out on the lunacy and the nonsense. But so this is cute. So Exotic Joe is now, he's upset that folks are calling Joe Burrow the Tiger King. And he says to Joe Burrow, he wrote a letter or something, put it on Twitter, I don't know. Since everyone is enjoying the fame of being the Tiger King, I'm suffering wrongfully in prison. Wrongfully. Mm-hmm. How about doing a good deed? This is to Joe Burrow. And help me raise $20,000 for a down payment to hire an attorney.
No.
Maybe pay it forward, he says to Joe Burrow. God might help you get to the Super Bowl this year. What a friggin' maniac.
Even if he didn't have the murder charges, he still had, wasn't it 18 federal charges for animal abuse?
Oh,
exactly.
Jesus. It's unbelievable, this guy.
See all you cool cats and kittens.
It's been a while. That was nice, Josh.
Now, Joe Burrow does not want to be called the Tiger King. Don't they call him Joe Cool or
Joe
something
Cool,
like that?
that's his
Yeah.
Cool Joe, whatever. He does not like the nickname the Tiger King because he never watched the show. And he says, I didn't see it because I don't like seeing animals in cages. So he wants nothing to do with even the nickname connected to this Exotic Joe. Guy, talk about the balls on somebody. He writes a letter to Joe Burrow. Hey, if you're going to use my nickname, why don't you bail me out of prison?
He's tried to get a lot of celebrities to help him out.
Yeah, that guy's something else.
You got a lot of time on your hands, apparently, when you're sitting in the cell.
Yep.
I guess so.
The Golden Gopher Football Club and their game this Saturday at North Carolina was called the third most watchable college football game of the week by USA Today. That starts 2:30 tomorrow on USPN. How do you say it?
ESPN.
And not only that, I'm going to watch the balls off this. I hope they can put up a good game.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. Get some. Remember that, Josh?
Yeah. What happened to the Get Some guy?
I don't know what happened. Every time
he
we
used
talk,
to text all the time.
It started when they opened up the new ballpark. How long ago was that? 8, 9, 10 years ago now? I don't remember. When they opened up the new ballpark for the Golden Gophers. I remember the dude texted in and said, brand new ballpark, game 1 tonight. Get some! And then for years, every time we brought up Golden Gopher football, he would text in simply, get some.
No way.
I think the
that.
Get Some guy might have died.
Oh, I sure hope not.
He might have died.
Don't say that.
2009 it opened up.
Oh, wow.
Twins crushed the White Sox last night. The magic number to clinch the division is down to 8 skis.
That was the most surprising thing of the night, was that Kenta Maeda threw 105 pitches.
Yeah. He went 7, struck 8.
Yeah.
Struck
Maybe
out
they
8.
realize once they get the postseason, the guy's going to be in the bullpen, so they might as well just stretch him out and let him go, right?
Sure.
You see this poor bastard rookie pitcher for the Washington Nationals get hit in the skull.
Oh, I did not see that.
It's on 93x.com, Randy.
It's not what you think. He's pitching to somebody or another. I forgot who the hell they were playing. It doesn't matter. Dude behind him tries to steal second base. The guy, the rookie pitcher's name is Jackson Rutledge. His catcher, tries to throw the ball to second base to stop the runner from stealing it. and the throw to second hit this Rutledge guy in the skull.
Oh,
even though he bent over to try to avoid it. I'd never seen that before.
He's 6'9". I think that was the problem.
He is a tall
Holy
dude.
cow.
Really tall.
You said it's up on our website?
Yes.
And he was okay. Kind of
Yeah,
pissed
he seemed
off.
fine.
He was kind of pissed.
He looked a little irritated.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I would be too.
I've never seen a throw to second base interrupted by the pitcher's noggin before.
I felt bad for the catcher, the look on his face.
If you watch enough youth baseball, you've seen it a few times.
It was his big league debut. He got pumped by whoever they were playing. 7 runs in 3 innings. And he gets hit in the skull by a throw to second, and his folks were in the stands.
It was the Pirates.
That sucks.
The catcher looks so small compared to him. When he walks up there to say, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah, he does.
He looks so tiny.
I wonder if his mom and dad took off his jersey and just kind of tucked it under their seats. All right, let's see if there's anything else we need to cover before we get to. I think we Wapple. That intro's not going to play itself, is it? Here's a listener who says he was at last night's Twins game in Chicago. There couldn't have been more than 5,000 people in the stands. It was sad. They roped off the upper deck to save money from manning the concession stands.
Oh.
The Chicago White Sox, man.
That bad.
They're that far behind. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the greatest ball club in the world.
No.
All right, here we go. The 100 plus 43rd go-round for our weekly trivia goat rodeo called Dad Fights. Randy Shaver versus Brad Ryder. Some listeners love to play along with the game. We appreciate that. Some just sit back and root for one guy or the other. Some say all that really matters is that both competitors have fun.
Oh, whatever.
Now, before anybody falls down and begins touching themselves, we need a subject for today's trivia. We need a theme. And there ain't much doubt that the big story this week was when the gas bag, Karen Rodgers, his little Achilles tendon unraveled on him before he had even broken in his brand new uniform. There were NFL fans who said it was a terrible shame. There were others who said they hadn't had a good laugh like that in weeks. It wasn't a complete surprise that the guy got hurt. Hell, he's almost 40, but it was shocking how quickly it happened. So with all that in mind, today we'll be testing you two dads on some of the most shocking sports moments of all time. Keep in mind, we're not just talking professional football. We're not just talking football in general. We've got shocking and or surprising moments from all different kinds of sports here in today's contest. A couple that come to mind for me right away that will not be used in today's contest. Randy and Brad, please don't share any that come into your mind because you might mention one that we've included in the contest and you'll ruin all the work we've done. But a couple that come to mind for me right away, Joe Theismann's leg breaking smooth in half in an NFL game years ago.
Yuck.
When Buffalo Sabres goaltender Clint Malarchuk's head was nearly severed off by a skate blade live on the ice while his mother watched at home on television.
Terrible.
Or when competitive eater Takeru Kobayashi vomited 3 or 4 Nathan's famous hot dogs all over himself and then ate his own vomit in order for those hot dogs to be counted into his final score.
Inspirational. Commitment to your craft.
Did you ever think in a million, this happened, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, did you ever think you'd watch a grown man suck up his own vomit on television?
Oh.
No.
Because that's what he did.
Yeah.
That was even more disgusting than the vomit.
Yeah.
They call it a reversal of fortune in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
I noticed that.
I like that term.
They have a cute term for when a guy goes and splashes hot dog chunks all over the table.
Those announcers are very funny.
Oh, they're brilliant.
People in the front row with tarps like they're at a Gallagher show.
Oh, yeah. So that's where we're going today, boys. Some of the most shocking moments, surprising, shocking moments in sports history. The name of the game is to be the first to just shout out the correct answer. If you're correct, you will hear the belly bell. If incorrect, do you want to go with sarcastic Skull Vikings again since the team wet the bed last night?
Yeah, let's do it.
I like that.
We had a Packer fan check in to make sure we knew that the Vikings are Skolin too at this point. You still got it, Wapple?
Yeah, I'll have to find it.
You got a couple minutes. You talk about the sarcastic Skull Viking?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Can I help in some way?
If you're incorrect, you'll hear the sarcastic Skull Viking. That means you get no points. You can steal a point if your opponent F's up. And as usual, we go 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if needed. Now,
let me try this bad boy out.
You have to.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's the right one.
A test drive?
Yeah, make sure it works.
Lube it up.
For today's intro, it's a name that I recognize. Absolutely, 100% recognize this character. Sits on babies' sheezes.
What's up, brother/sisterhood? This is Sits on Baby Sheezus, hailing from way out in Winstead.
What the hell is that?
Home of the jolliest bunch of a-holes this side of the nut house.
Don't put your lips on it.
Today, while they may not be up at Izades, Tijuana Josh and Nick Danger
No. Danger's my middle name.
will be hosting a battle between two over-the-hill butt munchers that are more than all my preschoolers combined. Up first, Randy the Ass Man, golf cart diving granddaddy shaver. Up against Brad the Lonely Boy. Tell us the damn song already! Writer. Now, boys, I'm serious. Keep the whining to a minimum, or I will not hesitate to come over there and beat you with a ruler. And let's have a fair fight. This is Dad Fights 130 plus 13.
That was brilliant.
I absolutely love her.
That was really good.
Incredible.
That was really good.
And I haven't heard Butt Muncher in so long.
I thought you lost along on that one, Josh.
That was really good.
Yeah, my family's going to kick me out of the house this weekend with how much I'm going to be saying that.
Thank you very much, Sits on Baby Sheezes.
That was great.
Seeing how our topic today is shocking sports moments, some of you might have been shocked by her delivery, but that's how they come off in Winstead. Nice to spend time in Winstead. That's how they come off.
Oh, that's good.
If you'd like to maybe one day go ahead with a Dad Fights intro, send us an electronic mail to hams93x@gmail.com. Give us your information. Wapple will give you a phone call. We'll get you lined up. Josh is going to start you off. Shocking surprise.
Brad,
your phone is unbelievable. Sounds like you are. It sounds like when you move your phone, it sounds like it's made of bubble wrap.
I will.
Sounds like it's made out of.
I will do the best I can to hold completely still.
It sounds like you have a bag of pennies and peanuts up against your face. Shocking, surprising sports moments here.
the Timberwolves were rarely the lead story on SportsCenter in the 90s. But that changed January 15th, 1997, when Dennis Rodman kung fu kicked a camera guy in the nuts. The Bulls ended up with the win. The camera guy's balls ended up in Section 101. And Kevin Garnett and this Timberwolf teammate ended up with a pair of 21-point performances.
Google that.
Go Vikings!
Brad Ryder.
Come on, Brad.
Sam Cassell. I don't know.
Go Vikings!
Stephon Marbury is the correct answer. The nut punt cost the eccentric star well over $1 million. Rodman was suspended without pay for 11 games, fined $25,000, and paid the camera guy $200,000 for the pain and suffering.
That was great.
The nut punt.
What a huge moment in Timberwolves history when Dennis Rodman stomped that guy's balls into oblivion. What I'll always remember about it was the camera guy's reaction.
It's delayed.
Rodman kicks him in the bag, and he says, "Hey, ow!" And then he says to himself, "Oh, wait a minute, was that Dennis Rodman?" Oh God! My balls!
We have audio, and the announcers kind of make reference to that.
They kicked the cameraman. He was really upset. Really upset.
upset. Went up in the air, came down on the camera. You thought he sprained his ankle.
Well, there's all kinds of equipment right there, and the cameraman is hurt. Now the man acts like he's dying.
Didn't they stretcher him out too?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think I remember them putting him out on the stretcher.
The announcer says,
Randy, you probably know better than I. That wasn't one of the local station's camera guys. That was the.
It was
the
not.
in-house.
It was the in-house camera.
Yes, that's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hell of a deal. All right. Oh, and I forgot to mention when I was setting this whole nightmare up, we will have wonderful audio for you through every challenge to bring us back to these shocking, surprising moments in sports history. So nothing to start off, right, Wapple?
Yep.
Next up, we're going to talk about the play. You fellas know it, the historic Cal versus Stanford college football game from 1982. Stanford took a 20-19 lead over Cal with 4 seconds left on the clock. On the ensuing kickoff, all hell broke loose with multiple laterals, and before you knew it, Cal was in the end zone, bashing into the Stanford marching band, who, like everyone else, thought the game was already over. Name the former Minnesota Viking.
Joe Cap.
Nice.
Randy is correct. What I was going to say was name the former Minnesota Viking who was in his first year coaching the California Ball Club on that ridiculous day. Yes, the late Joe Cap.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to go into the Bears. The Bears have won. The Bears have won.
Voice game.
Oh, my God. The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.
He sounds so tired. That's exhausting.
He screamed himself hoarse. That was
Gosh, I guess.
the announcer's name, Joe Starkey. And maybe I'm maybe I'm too negative, but you know what crosses my mind whenever we talk about the play from 1982? It'll never happen again, and it's a damn shame. Because of replay, this will never happen again.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if you watch the replay of this, guys' knees were down. There might have been a forward left. That's what I hate about replay. It takes moments like this away, and it'll never happen again. But at least we have this to.
The referees lost control of the movie.
The referees today would blow that play dead as
Completely
soon as
dead.
somebody came on the field.
If you're a young person and you don't know what we're talking about, watch this freaking.
It is amazing video.
It is so much fun to watch the player crash into the trombonist. How do you say it?
Trombonist.
The band has the crowd is coming completely uncorked. The announcer.
And there's also like a documentary on that play.
Oh, yeah.
On setting all of that up, and they interviewed band members and the whole thing. It's really good. It's very well done.
I watched that too, Randy. 1-0 Randy Shaver.
Players fighting during a game or fans fighting in the stands happen frequently. But when the fight involves players and fans,
Malice at the Palace.
That's the Malice in the Palace.
Go Vikings!
Jumped in there. Good guess. Following the November 19th, 2004 melee during a game between the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons at the Palace in Auburn Hills, Michigan, the NBA handed out 146 total game suspensions. The instigator, Pacers star Ron Artest, received the most suspensions by far. But which Pacer teammate received the second most?
Brad Ryder. It's all you, Brad.
That's kind of an unfair question.
I don't know. Reggie Miller? I don't know.
Go Vikings!
Steven Jackson.
Okay.
Malice at the Palace caused the NBA to beef up security, but also change up their alcohol policy. They set a limit at 24 ounces for any beer or drink, and then started cutting off people at the end of the third quarter.
That was a tough one.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, distinctly.
I remember it, but Steven Jackson. Yeah, I remember him, but that was a tough get.
Tough get. All right.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. Christ, we were in Milwaukee. Me and some friends were in Milwaukee at a bar, and a buddy just kind of nudged me and pointed at a TV and said, "What the hell's going on there?"
There goes Artest up into the crowd. He's absolutely out of his mind. And Steven Jackson slugging people in the crowd here.
The whole Indiana team is in the crowd.
And now the Pistons are coming over.
This is not good for the NBA or for Detroit.
This is the ugliest scene you'll ever see.
Oh, F that. It was beautiful. I loved it. What I'll always be impressed by is the amount of Detroit average built Detroit Pistons fans who were not afraid of these guys.
That's right. They did not move.
They stood chest to chest with Steven Jackson and Ron Artest, who are big dudes.
Heck
Right.
yeah.
Ripped friggin' dudes. And that ruined the Indiana Pacers season. As you might imagine, there's a documentary on this incident as well.
Yeah.
And they had a great season going, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, The Untold on Netflix about Malice in the Palace. Very, very good.
That was a good episode.
Still 1-0 Randy Shaver as we're going through some of the more shocking moments in sports history. That's the topic of today's Dad Fight. On June 28th, 1997, during a heavyweight boxing match between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, Tyson bit into both of Holyfield's ears and spit the chunk of the ear meat onto the mat. Name the referee who
Mills Lane.
The late Mills Lane is correct. Name the referee who had to stop the fight at the end of the third and disqualify Mike Tyson. He deducted 2 points from Tyson the first time he bit Evander, and the fight did resume, but Tyson was just crazed that night, bit him again, and that resulted in his disqualification, and Holyfield won the match.
What happened here? He got bit, I think. He's got bit in the ear. Oh, my goodness. He's got a bloody right ear. Holyfield bit by a dirty Mike Tyson. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I was watching that when it happened, too.
Yeah.
The piece of Holyfield's right ear was found on the floor after the fight was over.
Yucky. Kind of cool, though.
And if you watch the video in slow motion, if you watch it in slow motion, you can see Tyson go "Fuh," and spit it out of his mouth.
Yes, it's gross.
2-0 Randy Shaver?
Yes.
Pitcher Randy Johnson infamously and accidentally killed a bird with a pitch during a 2001 spring training game with the Diamondbacks. The big unit pitched for 6 different teams in his Major League Baseball career before retiring in 2010 after one season with this NL West team.
Arizona.
Go Vikings! Here's your chance, Brad Ryder. You've had a couple of these opportunities. NL West.
NL West team, I'm going to say the Giants.
That's correct.
Okay.
San Francisco Giants. Since retiring, Johnson has found a second career as a photographer. He studied photojournalism during his days at USC and now has shot NFL games, a Rush tour, sweet, and enjoys wildlife photography as well.
His photos are very cool to look at. I follow him on Instagram.
Really?
Huh, really?
There you go. That was a tough one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a total guess.
To try to think back to who was the last club that the big eunuch pitched for. But Brad Ryder, you're on the board. Nice work. It's 2-1.
It literally just turned into a cloud of feathers, and I saw the deceased roll into the on-deck circle, but I wasn't sure if it was the baseball or the bird.
As odd as this may sound, there was a life lost in this, and Randy is a conservationist, and Randy said, I don't find this very funny.
So Johnson was a little bummed out when he killed that bird?
I guess so.
Yeah.
That would suck. Yeah, I'd feel pretty bad.
I would too.
2-1. All right.
But I'd be impressed that I could actually throw a ball hard enough to kill something.
Right.
Yeah.
Poor Bill Gramatica, former NFL kicker, on December 15th of the year 2000+1, he tore his ACL to absolute shreds, celebrating a 42-yard field goal in Week 13 of his rookie NFL season while playing for what ball club?
Arizona.
Randy Shaver is correct. The Arizona Cardinals. And now it's 3-1, Randy. I did not know this, but even after that horrible ACL tear, he came back out onto the field and kicked an extra point. It was his plant leg. It was not his kicking leg, but still impressive.
Martin Gramatica, 15 for 19 this season, and he hurt himself leaping up and down. Oh,
he just strained his knee. He hyperextended his knee.
They were playing in New York, and if you watch that video, listen to the audio a little closer, the crowd pop when it was obvious that he had hurt himself is impressive.
Yeah.
They were not very sympathetic. The crowd just goes, oh! As he's... And my favorite side note on the Bill Gramatica leg explosion story is that his made field goal the one where his leg gave way on him, made the score 3-0 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. But he busted out like he just...
Yeah, before I did the research on this, I was thinking back to it. I thought for sure it was a game winner that he. I completely misremembered that. Like, it had to have been a game winner.
7 minutes left in the first quarter, and he's just whoopee.
That's funny. I did not remember that part.
What's the score, Wapple?
It's 3-1, Randy.
All right then.
Okay. Question 7. November 6, 1993, Las Vegas. James Miller, better known as Fan Man, quite literally crashed a boxing match when he used his powered paraglider to fly into the arena, eventually crashing into the side of the ring during a bout between Evander Holyfield and this former heavyweight champion.
Go Vikings! Out of time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We were looking for Riddick Bowe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fan Man ended up getting his ass kicked by the crowd. Miller later joked, "It was a heavyweight fight, and I was the only guy that got knocked out." Fans also ripped apart his paraglider to keep as souvenirs.
Easily one of the most bizarre, surreal things I've ever watched. We were watching that fight up at St. Cloud State. I think we were at St. Cloud State. And none of us could figure out for quite a while what the hell was happening. Where did this guy come from? Right. Why are they beating him to death?
This video is one of the most insane things I've learned from this program.
It was.
I don't get it.
So incredible. There's a documentary on this. He passed away. I believe he killed himself.
Oh.
He did, yeah.
The paraglider.
Yes, the Fan Man. Not Riddick Bowe or Evander Holyfield, but the paraglider.
Yeah.
Big Daddy, I think they called Riddick Bowe. Big Daddy.
He was a big dude.
All right, still 3-1, Randy. Brad.
And somebody in a parachute has just landed on the edge of the ring, has been pulled away by security guards. The fight has been brought to a halt. There's a massive melee at ringside as this fellow with a motorized parachute has landed right on top of spectators and officials at ringside. A monstrosity of an interruption in the bout.
He fired up this
Jim
fan mobile.
Lampley.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was an open-air stadium. He fires up his fan mobile and says, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'll dive bomb the
That's
biggest
crazy.
sporting event of the evening. All right, here we go. 3-1 Randy. WWE superstar Mark Henry got caught up in one of television wrestling's most shocking moments back in 1999 while he was portraying the sexual chocolate ladies' man gimmick in the WWE. His character became a sex addict. He had an on-screen romantic relationship with women's wrestler Mae Young. At the time, Henry was 28 years old. Mae Young was 76. Eventually, it was revealed that Mae Young was carrying Mark Henry's child. But when the delivery date came, Mae Young, spread eagle in a delivery room on television, gave birth to a what?
Come on.
I can't wait to play this audio, by the way.
No idea. And I don't even want to guess.
A condor. I don't know.
A condor?
Both of you, you're incorrect.
Don't even want to guess.
You're going to feel so silly when you didn't remember this.
Mae Young gave birth to a hand.
Of course you knew that.
May, when was the last time you had your period?
About 1957.
And that's why television wrestling is the greatest sport on planet Earth.
Oh, my God.
How do you even come up with something like that?
That's just
I think I watched that with my dad.
May, when's the last time you had your period? And she said 1963.
She's smoking a cigar.
Well, she was celebrating the impending birth of the hand.
Oh, my God.
To this day, one of the weirdest moments in television wrestling history. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the boss over there at WWE, has admitted once or twice that there was never any rhyme or reason at all why he decided that Mae Young should give birth to a hand after her hot sexual relationship with Mark Henry. He said he just made that decision to entertain himself.
Respect.
That is the best audio we've heard all day right there, Jeff.
Gosh, that's just so...
Brad, you need to bump a couple correct answers here in order to force a tiebreaker.
Yep.
Although it's been reported Aaron Rodgers won't retire after blowing out his Achilles at the age of 39, it wouldn't be a shock if he did. However, it was quite shocking when this Detroit Lion great decided...
Barry Sanders.
Go Vikings!
When this Detroit Lion great decided to hang it up after 9 years in the league and 83 touchdowns as wide receiver.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson retired in 2015 after saying he lost his passion for the game. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021 and now runs a legal weed business where you can purchase marijuana products such as First Class Funk, Terpy Slurpee, and Pound Town.
No way, an ex-athlete who's got a weed business going.
Crazy.
Calvin
Stafford, who took a hit, firing for the end zone. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. That looked like a Hail Mary at the end of the game. A jump ball, and the 6'5" Calvin Johnson made the catch.
Is that Marv Albrecht?
Marv
It sounds like it, yeah.
I'll be damned. So how old was Calvin Johnson when he retired? He was still so
It
young.
was early 30s, I think.
By the way, that played out exactly how we thought it would. We knew someone would shout Barry Sanders, so we...
He retired at 30.
Call that a little misdirection.
30 years old. All right, this is it, Brad Ryder. If you can get this one correct, you will have forced a tiebreaker. If Randy gets it, he wins. If neither one of you get it, Randy wins by arithmetic.
Mm-hmm. That's what that's called.
Through the power of arithmetic, I know that, Wapple, and you know it too.
That's correct.
All right, listen closely. An attack with a crowbar made figure skating headline news in 1994 when a hired goon from figure skater Tanya Harding's camp bashed a
Nancy
fellow...
Kerrigan.
Go Vikings!
I see where you were going with that, Brad Ryder. I'll finish it up, even though we already know the end result of this dad fight. A hired goon from figure skater Tanya Harding's camp bashed a fellow skater named Nancy Kerrigan's knee into dust. The half-ass hitman didn't get the job done. Kerrigan was still able to return later that year for the 1994 Winter Olympics that were held in what Norwegian city?
Not going to guess.
Yeah, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have got that.
Fatality.
You win.
It's gonna haunt me all. It's gonna haunt me all day that I didn't know that Mae Young gave birth to a hand.
Yeah. What a fool you are.
I won't be surprised.
I know.
If you get home, the wife has changed the locks on you. She's so disappointed in you.
Final score.
Your parents start calling you Brad instead of Dad. No longer just going to use your first name.
Final score in the 100 plus 43rd edition of Dad Fights, the Shocking Sports Moments edition. The final score 3-1. The correct answer to that question, Nancy Kerrigan went on to perform in the 1994 Winter Olympics that were held in Lillehammer, Norway.
I like that. Your kids call you that. That's interesting.
Harding had a rough time at the Olympics. She finished 8th.
Police and the FBI are investigating the possibility of a conspiracy in the attack on champion skater Nancy Kerrigan. About the investigation of that bizarre beating that Kerrigan took at the National Figure Skating Championships at Cobo Arena.
Yeah.
That was pretty shocking.
The movie, I, Tonya, pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't see that. That was
Me either.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah.
Dark comedy.
Dark comedy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I like that kind of stuff.
It's pretty entertaining.
Wow, who starred in that again?
Margot Robbie.
Oh, yeah. Margot Robbie.
And one of my ultimate lame claims to fame, 2 of my old beer league hockey teammates were there that day. They were playing for some under 19, under 20 U.S. team, and they were taking the ice. I think it was Joe Louis Arena back in Detroit.
Yep.
They were scheduled to practice after the figure skaters were done. Are you following where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're in the locker room getting ready to play or practice, and the media's screaming and running, and they what the hell is it? And they look out, and the gal is laid out with her kneecap shot across the room.
Oh, gosh.
We were also going to ask you about when Pedro Martinez rightfully thumped Don Zimmer on his ass.
Oh, my goodness. Don Zimmer and Pedro Martinez.
That's awful.
Don Zimmer, a 72-year-old man, went into Pedro Martinez's face, and Pedro Martinez threw him down.
Terrible. Awful.
Oh, I liked it. No, you don't come out here. You don't come out here and act like you're going to brawl and then, you're so shocked that someone dumped you on your ass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't hit him. He just kind of threw him to the side.
Yeah, he just chucked him aside. Zimmer comes out the damn dugout with his big beer belly shaking around.
The human gerbil.
The human jerk. You're coming out here, you must want trouble. Well, I'll give you trouble. I don't care if we got a 72-year age difference. It's one of the only things Pedro Martinez ever did that I loved. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a big fan. Anyway, we got to get going, you guys. Nice work on Dad Fights. Have a great weekend.
Nice work, butt munchers.
We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right.
Before we go, I got to throw this your way. We've been talking about, some fights, some scraps here. It was a Dad Fight episode, of all things. Want to give folks a heads up on WFC 158 World Fighting Championships. Live MMA coming to Treasure Island Resort and Casino Saturday, November 4th. This combines mixed martial arts, boxing, and kickboxing.
Awesome.
Maybe we gotta go to this and see someone just get kicked in the jaw.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Ooh, maybe they'll do the karate kick sound.
I hope so.
That would be way cool.
I hope so. You'll see the region's top athletes showcase their talent going toe-to-toe in WFC 158. Tickets are on sale today at TICasino.com, and it looks like...
Oh, my word.
Oh. And it looks like if you're interested, text TKO to 651-989-9393 for your shot to win tickets to WFC 158 Saturday, November 4th at Treasure Island. The prize is furnished by Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
Saturday
Good
night.
luck.
Not bad.
It's a Saturday night, Josh. Wapa!
Wapa!
I'll be right back on the program.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.
Former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan shares real stories from real people from all walks of life on The Sean Ryan Show. Guest Brandon Fugel.
Now, Skinwalker Ranch is the most Googled location in the entire world. For whatever reason, we're seeing the highest level of UFO sightings and paranormal activity. And this has been going on for decades, if not millennia. And we're finally bringing it to the public's attention.
The Sean Ryan Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Just be mindful, move out of their way, and just move on.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Absolutely. It's Friday morning, and it's 8:36 already. By damn, thanks for always being there for the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. We sure appreciate it a whole bunch.
You're not kidding.
And thanks again to all of our listeners who have been wishing me a happy birthday. It's Sunday, to be exact. Appreciate all that. You want to know, Josh, you know what I want for my birthday?
What do you want?
Janet Jackson.
Oh, do you really?
I love Janet Jackson.
That is a tall order.
Mm-hmm.
I did purchase you a basketball jersey for your birthday, and I noticed our coworkers didn't get you anything.
I got you a little something.
But, yeah, they didn't get you a thing, it sounds like. Do you expect any other gifts coming this weekend?
No, I do not.
No,
and that's fine by me. And yes, Josh got me an early present, got me a Karl Anthony Towns basketball jersey. I'll be damned if I wasn't wearing it around the house yesterday.
Oh, I bet you look pretty good.
I do look good.
Yeah.
I do
Nick,
look.
not to try to steal the attention away from you, but your birthday is special to me as well because 5 years ago, I started on your birthday. at the morning show.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yep, I remember because it was the first time I ever got a chance to see what you guys looked like. I never wanted to spoil the surprise,
huh?
you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like distraught because I was like, oh my gosh, yay, the guys, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then you guys were like, yeah, and it's Nick's birthday. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels a lot more like pressure. It's an important day.
I remember, yeah, we had a big party, and you were brand new, and yeah, I just knew that, here's this kid that we're going to try to get to know, and boy, does she smell like pot.
Wasn't even 21 yet. Weird.
Oh, wow.
How old were you? Yeah, Nick and I both started when we were barely 21. I was just about 21.
Yep, I was about a month and a half before I turned 21. So.
Yeah, you started on my birthday. All right. What wonderful memories.
Yeah.
Once I had a girl tell me she looked like Janet Jackson, but actually she looked more like Freddie Jackson. I'm always happy to pass along a money-making opportunity to our listeners. Sometimes we get inside information around here, don't we, Josh?
Yeah, it's probably not even legal.
Okay, a money-making opportunity on the table for you, right? Durex Condoms is recruiting condom testers.
You're out.
Yeah?
I had to explain to him off air what a condom was. He'd forgotten. It'd been so long.
He's like, a condo? Like you test out living in a condo? Is that what you're talking about?
I've never liked those damn things, but if you want to make a few extra bucks, they're recruiting condom testers. Here's the deal. I think we've covered this once or twice. STDs, ooh, they're sweeping across the globe. They are.
There's a lot of them out there.
So,
and Dana, your mom has started quite a few.
That's what I've been heard, or that's what I've been told.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, STDs are on the rise across planet Earth. Well, yeah, didn't Motley Crue go on tour last summer? That usually pumps up the STD.
I think it was the biggest tour of the year. Pretty close.
Yeah.
It says here, even with the fact that everyone in town is riddled with some kind of sexually transmitted disease, condom sales are down. It's kind of concerning.
If I was a single gent, I think I'd use them at first, or at least have the intention of using them.
You'd have a box in the drawer just in case. They'd probably still be wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
When I was dating, it was only one person that brought it up.
You've only dated one guy who brought up the idea of wearing a condom during intercourse?
Yeah, when I was like dating, doing like the dating profile things going on. Well, just hookups. When I was hooking up with people, I wasn't dating. There was no plan there.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't quit trying to church it up. We know what you were doing.
Yeah, there was only one person that brought it up to the point where I was like, why? He's like, because I was like, I'm on birth control. He's like, like STDs? I was like, oh yeah, people are worried about that as well. Forgot.
I don't know how to say this without sounding like some kind of a slut, but the subject almost never came up when I would have rendezvous with ladies as well. I remember being shocked when a lady did bring up the idea of condoms. It just never.
Really? It wasn't?
No.
That kind of surprises me.
No. Almost never over the years.
Who is supposed to bring it up? Is there like a stigma against that? Are men supposed to bring it up? Are women supposed to? Where's the rule there?
I don't know the rules.
Because maybe I was supposed to be bringing it up this whole time.
Well, maybe I was supposed to be. I don't know. But it was very, very rare. Very rare.
Vacation Jesus said, well, duh. I mean, aren't condom sales down because you just need to buy one and then reuse it after you wash it out?
No.
Wait, now, Ashley, so do you ever do this thing where you look at a guy and think, he might be an STD waiting to happen, I'm going to make him wear a condom?
No, I haven't yet.
Maybe you should start thinking about that. Well, I suppose you're in a relationship now.
Yeah, now I'm safe.
Our buddy Jim Norton,
hopefully.
Comedian who we had in about 5-6 months ago, very funny guy. I remember his take on condoms and stuff because he never wore them and he was all over the place. He goes, my idea of an STD test back when I was really going after was just kind of give you a one up and down. Yeah, looks good to me.
I don't see any bumps.
Yeah, I went around the block a few times, and it almost never was part of any conversation. So here's the deal. All right. If you want to be a condom tester for Durex, they're looking for 50 guys to try out their new Durex Nude condom, which they claim is the thinnest and most innovative condom to date. They'll pay you $100. And they're confident that the nude condom won't reduce sexual pleasure. See, they also did a poll, the folks at Durex, to find out what people don't like about condoms. And the most popular answer, 19% said it was a lack of sensation when you put a condom on. And I'll tell you this much. When in the few times in my life where I wore one, it was instant penile paralysis.
Yeah, I mean, that can be a good thing at certain times, you know. They can help you out a little bit.
Yeah, it makes you last a little bit longer.
But you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it squashed my erection. Like it was just, I couldn't feel anything if you set it on fire for me.
No matter how thin they make them, it will never be the same.
Well, maybe you need to find one of these guys who's going to be a condom tester, and he can tell you if it's gotten any better. 18% said condoms lead to less spontaneous sex. Sure, I get where they're going with that. Mm-hmm. You're in the throes of passion. Hang on a sec. Let me put this rubber on. Okay, hang on. All right, just a couple more minutes now. Right?
It is kind of a mood killer. Yeah.
And then you put it on upside down. You got to flip it over. It's
the worst.
There you go, Josh. 11% said condoms are mood killers. 4% said they don't like the taste.
Barsaw Jesus said $100? That won't even cover the cost of the hooker.
So, $100.
You know what? Once they fix the smell, they can come at me.
Don't they have scented ones?
I don't know.
I don't know if that would be worse.
I've heard all kinds of stories.
Artificial berry scented.
Yeah, like sex fluids mixed with like blueberry. No.
Victory Motorcycle Jesus said $100 for the study. Damn. That's the fastest I've ever made that much money in 20 seconds.
1 in 10 prefer sex with a condom. 1 in 10, that's not a big number.
It's got to be just because of the safety concern.
That's also 10%.
Yeah, peace of mind, you know.
Well, actually, what they mention here, sure, that's got to come into play, the peace of mind and not having one of those unplanned pregnancies. But 1 in 10 prefer sex with a condom because they don't like the mess. And I think you know what I mean when I say mess.
Okay, yeah.
Boy, that's a kind of a stuffy individual, if that term applies. I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the mess is part of the fun, in my opinion. But there are some who, no, I don't want to.
I'm like, what you doing? What are you doing with it?
You want to see the product of your work?
I know, but still, like
kind of a boring individual who
aim. I don't know.
You have to have aim.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want to be part of this Durex condom testing crew, they got a website out there.
But I saw that they're selecting 50 people to do it, so everybody gets $100, and all of a sudden it's like 6 months later. Hey, we've only given away 49. Yeah, I'm still waiting to get mine used. I'm sorry, in a bit of a dry spell. Okay, haven't left the review yet.
That's true. Yeah, Holland Glass Jesus said they provide the girl, right?
This could be humbling, Josh. When you sign up, if they pick you to be a condom tester, you'll get a bucket of the new Durex Nude condoms. They'll also give you some lube and a measurement guide to find the ideal condom size.
Mine has been professionally measured, so I know it. Luckily, they did it in centimeters, so it sounds more impressive.
Yeah.
All right, let's go this way now. What's the weirdest way you've ever made some cash? Anybody have anything come to mind? The weirdest way you've ever made some cash? I cannot think of any.
I ate a worm when I was a kid.
You did?
Oh, nice.
Oh, you've done a lot of stuff here when we used to do what would actually do for $100.
You should remember that.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the main one would be gutting a shot of your chew spit. That's number one.
I don't know how you did that. But yes, it's a true story. True story. A number of years ago, we had a gimmick called What Would Ashley Do for $100? Wasn't that what it was called, Josh?
Yep.
Was it at $100?
Yep.
And once you gutted a shot glass full of my chew spit.
Yep. You're a part of me now, forever.
Yes, that's true. We had some fun with it, and then it dawned on us, this could get wildly out of control and possibly get someone or all of us in trouble, so we squashed it.
It was because there wasn't really much that I wouldn't do, so.
That's what we learned, right?
Yeah, I was getting we were running out of ideas.
Yeah, there was never a time where we'd say, would you try this? And you said, oh, I can't do that. You thought, I'll do it, whatever it is.
Yeah, $100, yep.
So the weirdest way people have made some cash, this came up on Reddit. Oh, selling coworkers clean urine so they could pass a drug test.
I did that for buddies, but I don't think I ever got paid for it.
You did? What did you do exactly?
I just peed in a jar for them.
And then they were able to fool someone in that fashion? There was no one that had to wash them. Wash isn't the word. There was no one that had to watch them urinate? They could just pour it into a...
I don't know the exact process. All I know is I'd pee in the jar in the apartment for them, hand it to them, they'd be off on their way.
They never told you the process.
How often did you do this?
For one roommate, I did it, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times, like once a month.
What if that's how you found out you had an STD?
Here's a lady who got paid $100 to spit a shot of whiskey into a man's mouth. Some kind of weird kink at play there, but she made $100.
Oh, yeah. That's no biggie.
Well, for who?
For her.
Oh, yeah.
Just right in the guy's yapper. All right, you guys tell me what this means. I played a free mobile app game for a year to level up and then sold the account for $350. What does that mean?
Oh, yeah, you can make good money doing stuff like that.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of it for all these big games. People were doing it a lot for Red Dead Redemption.
I mean, like thousands, right, Wapple?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, I guess I did that for Skyrim once, Wapple. Yeah, there's like this kid that like unlocked everything. Yeah.
So that's the deal. So Wapple plays Sims, and he gets really, really good at it and unlocks all the special things that a basic player wouldn't get, and then he sells it to a... I still don't understand.
To a beginner, yeah, like a newbie.
Like Grand Theft Auto, they'll pretty much beat the game so you have everything unlocked. All the guns, all the armor, you have everything.
I appreciate that. That helps me understand it. This is cold-blooded around here, right here on the topic of the weirdest ways you've made some cash. Jesus, come on. How do you do this? A guy stole his dad's Playboy magazines when he was in middle school, sold them to other kids for $10 each. He made around $1,000.
Oh, wow.
You don't steal your dad's porno mags.
We had a kid do that. Yeah, we definitely had a kid do that.
Good Lord, I would be furious.
Going back to the video game thing, we had kids that would make a lot of money. They would put games on our graphing calculators.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those kids made so much money.
Yeah, those were sick.
Like every single time they'd make like $150 a calculator.
I don't have a effing clue what you're saying, but it sounds very...
$150.
Yes. Man. Insane amounts of money.
How do you get to that point, Dana, where when Wapple said graphic calculator, you went, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing in our school, too.
Yeah, you had to have that.
I wish I knew stuff.
Yeah, what was the cool game? Drug Wars, I think it was.
I never had that one. What?
Yeah, it was sweet. You could grow your weed and sell it to gangs and stuff
Dude,
like that.
Dude, you went to a cool school, I guess. I have no idea. I don't think that was even possible.
Yeah.
How about this? A 12-year-old kid gets hit by a car. The driver gives the kid $20 and another kid who witnessed it $20 to keep their mouth shut.
Man,
that's all it costs.
$20.
I mean, if the kid's okay.
If you sued him.
These kids must have. Man, I guess I'll give the kid who just got hit by a car a break. He might not have been thinking clearly.
He has a concussion.
I would like to believe when I was a little kid, I would have had the balls or the knowledge to ask for more than $20, but maybe I would have been. All right. Made some money on the street. A lady says, a guy just asked to see my feet.
Huh.
There's the foot fetish people out there.
A few people actually texted in and said that they have made money on sites like Foot Finder or Feet Finder, whatever it's called.
A 10-year-old kid. Someone's neighbor paid them to come over and read books to their parrot because the parrot was depressed.
That's kind of sweet.
You guys smell that? It smells bad out here, too. I'm starting to think this whole town smells like doo-doo.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, we ain't done yet. Fridays are kind of like Military Appreciation Day here on the Half-Assed Morning Show. Thanks to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch for partnering with us on this. Every Friday, we talk to a veteran or active duty service member that was nominated on our website, 93x.com. Go ahead on over to our website and make a nomination. We'll also make a donation to Folds of Honor in the name of the active or retired service member. Being honored today is a native Minnesotan, now living in North Carolina, by the name of Shane Tate. Hello, Shane.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, morning. Thanks for joining us.
Well, yeah, you sound like you're right down the road. You're in North Carolina as we speak, Shane?
Yes, sir.
Your brother nominated you, Greg.
That's correct, sir.
You want to hear what Greg had to say about you, or would that be embarrassing for you?
No, I'd love to, actually.
He said, Shane is the most selfless, hardworking, kind, and honorable man I've ever known. He's an incredible father, husband, brother, and friend.
So far, so good?
Yeah. He's a graduate of Coon Rapids, High School and Augsburg College. I'll tell you what, Shane, if you can make it through Coon Rapids High and Augsburg College, you can make it anywhere. But you joined the Air Force, he says, more than 20 years ago, served our country for many years as a first-class airman with the Air Force, still currently with the Department of Defense, having been stationed in many countries over the years. He currently lives with his wife and 3 children in North Carolina, but will always be a proud Minnesotan. He says, Shane's my hero. Quite honestly, I'd be honored if my brothers and sisters from the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show would consider him to be recognized for this. And absolutely. Wow, what a
nice
nomination.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what do you say to that, right?
Older brother or younger brother?
He's my younger brother.
Is he always?
I'm the oldest of 4.
Oldest of 4? Has Greg always kind of looked up to you?
Well, the irony is we didn't get along at all. We were pretty much at each other's necks when we were younger, but you grow and mature, and I think he's probably the closest. He's great. Isn't that funny though?
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, my brother and I were the same way. And wait a minute, Josh, I guess we're still the same.
Yeah, you guys, well, you missed what Shane said. The growing and the maturing. You haven't done that yet.
We haven't gotten around to
You'll
that
get
yet.
there.
Eventually.
Well, that's pretty sweet, Shane. A first-class airman with the Air Force. Tell us a little bit about what your duties and responsibilities were with that role.
Well, it's an interesting road I took because I tried to come in. Well, first of all, I didn't want to join the military. I just went there with some friends, and lo and behold, I wound up signing on the dotted line. But it wound up being one of the best choices I made. So I tried to go in to do computers, but they didn't have any openings. So they tried to make me a firefighter. I said no. They wanted to make me a firefighter anyways, and then I wound up getting reclassed into what I wanted to do originally, which is computer work. I started off in Texas in 1998 is when I enlisted. And then they moved me from there to Mississippi, where I went through my technical training, came back to Texas, finished out my active duty time, and then I separated in 2003. But, as he mentioned, I've been working for the Air Force, as part of the DOD ever since then.
Okay, you doing computer stuff now?
Yeah. So it's been about 25 years now. So working as a federal civilian now, and loving what I do, and honored to serve my country, and super grateful that my brother thinks that way of me. I can't say that my behavior's always warranted that, but I'm grateful he thinks that way. So yeah, I'm honored to serve my country. I was grateful to wear the uniform. It was an interesting time when I was active duty too, because 9/11 happened. I still remember that vividly, and yeah.
Where were you? Do you mind telling us where you were when that happened? Were you in the country?
Yeah, I was in Texas. I was actually in the education center at the time, and I was trying to do some college work. And I just remember looking over at the TV there and seeing, I don't remember if it was the first or the second plane that crashed into one of the towers, but just thinking to myself, okay, well, that's an interesting movie. And yeah, and life changed for many people after that point, including myself. They kept some folks in, understandably so, longer than their commitment to try and serve, and make some sense of things and to try and protect, and I think that's kind of the essence of what, why people join the military, at least I would say to a good degree, is they want to be part of something bigger than themselves and, protect what we stand for, protect freedom. And so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your brother's nomination of you here mentions that you've been stationed all over the place. What are some of many countries, he says? What are some of the places you really loved visiting?
Well, I would say my first and foremost is Germany, because we've spent about 13 years over there, actually, off and on.
Wow.
My wife, I sent you guys a picture. My wife is actually active duty as well. And so once I separated, we went over to Germany on her orders and spent some time over there. And we absolutely loved it. Loved the traveling. There's a lot of history there, a lot of religious history, just history, period.
Mm-hmm.
I had fond memory of being over in Saudi Arabia, while I was deployed, and then they forward deployed us to places like Kuwait and Oman and things like that. I've spent some time in Korea,
Wow.
Yeah, so really unique experiences, great opportunities to travel and see things you may not ever see. I think the furthest I got from Minnesota before I joined the Air Force was Wisconsin. So
that's pretty much the boat a lot of us here are in. So you mentioned how much you like Germany and how much time you spent there, and then some of the other places you've been. Are there any of the other places you mentioned that you'd like to go back as a civilian and just spend some time? Or it sounds like you like to do some of the history tours and things like that. Would you be interested in something like that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big traveler. So I would love to go to, if they had opportunities, like, for example, the military, they go to places like Greenland. I even heard recently, somebody talking about they had a special tour in Antarctica. I love going to new places and seeing different things. If I had a choice, I guess Germany would be a nice stop to make, again, and they just have there's so many things to see there. I mean, we spent 13 years there, and I feel like I didn't even see half of what there is to see there.
So you must speak the language pretty well.
Ein bisschen. Nur ein bisschen. My wife is actually half German, so I've learned a good bit from her.
Oh, that's
man.
Cool.
Now, I have a couple pals who were stationed in Germany when they were in the service, and one of them came back home just wildly overweight from all the beer. Wildly overweight from drinking all that beer.
Is it heavier like, you see in the movies? Is it like the beer's different?
Well, I can't speak to the beer thing anymore just because I don't drink, but I will say the food will get you too. I mean, it actually makes me think of my father-in-law. He went over there, and I'm not a big guy by nature anyways, but he went over there the same way, kind of skinny guy. And I just remember my wife talking about he gained his weight by stopping, they call them imbisses, stopping at these roadside imbisses and just getting a Wurst. It's just like a hot dog or whatever. Getting these Wurst and sausage, exactly. So people will put on weight over there for sure.
I think the dude, he blamed beer and Wiener schnitzel.
Yeah. that'll get you, I bet.
He just inhaled the stuff.
Yeah.
Look, Shane, you're obviously a very well-spoken, bright guy, and you deserve this honor. Thank you for your service, number one, and giving us a call this morning. You're all the way out in North Carolina. That means something or another that you'd make that effort to join us this morning.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate the time and you guys doing what you do to honor the vets. It makes a difference. As a vet and being one who helps to try and serve other vets, it really does make a difference. That's something that always stuck out with my father-in-law. He was 30 years retired Army, and we would be out at random places, and he just made it a point to simply stop. And if he saw somebody with a retired veteran hat or something, just say, thank you for what you did. And so thank you to you guys as well. It makes a difference. It really does.
I'll tell you what, there's no way Coon Rapids pushed out a better citizen than you.
Well, I appreciate that.
It's a far drop from you down to number 2.
Yeah, I hope they put you on their notable people from Coon Rapids Wikipedia page, Shane.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You guys can put my picture on there you got for me, too. There you go.
Shane, have a great weekend, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, awesome to meet you.
Yeah, you guys, too.
Take
Awesome.
it easy.
Thank you so much. Take care.
And thank you to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. My damn, we had so much fun. We're running way over time. Josh?
That was great. That was
it
great.
was outstanding. What a great guy.
Couple texts before we go. This text reads, please wish my beautiful wife 6 feet of Norwegian heat cheeses.
Oh, my God.
A very happy birthday from your husband. I'm sorry, Jesus, who goes on to say, thanks for settling, babe. Also on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, happy 20th to Private First Class Shot. Happy 30th to Traveling Jesus. Once again, Nick, I hope you have the bestest birthday the best guy in the world could ever have.
You guys are the best. I appreciate that.
And, of course, happy birthday to your brother, Nick. You are Nick. To Nick's brother, Steve.
The other one.
Yeah. There's only one Nick.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one Nick, but there's also a Steve.
He wants to be me.
A lot of us do.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93 X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Regular furnace maintenance can be your wallet's best friend, slashing energy bills and warding off those inconvenient breakdowns that seem to strike at the worst moments. Don't leave it to chance. Schedule your tune-up today at standardheating.com.